Ekushari, Ekushari, Kami, Labira, Dedi no modo Labira, Ele tanto só, Breaking Santo da Isu, Mobeto de Kojo, Ekushari, Kami, Ekushari, Labira, Dedi no modo Labira, Ele tanto só, Breaking Santo da Isu, Mobeto de Kojo, Ekushari, Kami, Labira, Dedi no modo Labira, Ele tanto só, Breaking Santo da Isu, Mobeto de Kojo, Ekushari, Kami, Ekushari, information and education. Ekushari, Kami, Labira, Ekushari, Kami, Good information. Information, document, and education. Ekushari, Kami, Ekushari,
Good evening. Good evening to the good people of this great country called Liberia. Good evening to the great people of this great country called Liberia. And it's always good to be here. Do what you love to do for our country, Liberia. It's always good. It feels good to be on the People's Program. Good evening to all of our good people of this great country called Liberia. We're back here again this evening, running to the night to talk about the issues that matter to our country, Liberia, and also giving you the opportunity so that your voices can be heard on critical national issues. As we move towards the October elections in Liberia, what I want to say to you, we all need to maintain the peace of our country. We can disagree to agree, but mind you, there's something we need to uphold, which is the peace. We can do all the political issues, talk all the political talk, push all of the ideas, but let us maintain the peace of our country. Evidence of that, His Excellency President George Weah on today calls on presidential candidates to lead by example, thus declaring the Farmington Agreement not to be a mere piece of paper. And so we'll read you that. So it means to you, the head of state, President of the Republic of Liberia, it's solely involved in making sure that all we do, we need to maintain the peace of our country, Liberia, as we all move towards the October elections. And so there are too many things happening in this country. Like I've always said, some of the issues are good, some of the issues are bad. But how can we work together to make the bad ones to be good and make the good ones to continue to be good in our country, Liberia? Until then, we all need to join hands together and do what is right. My name is Sekou. I'm Sekou Sharif. Inshallah, with the blessing of my parents, I will be here tonight up to 9 o'clock. What I said we've got on the plate for you, interesting discussions, interesting guests, and also lots of important issues on the program today. A regular international update. We go for it shortly on the show to talk to our international correspondents, wanting to know what's happening in Nigeria today, wanting to know what's happening in other parts of the world. And we're going to join our international correspondents. When we come back, we'll talk a bit about trending issues in the country. And that will take us up to 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock today, I want to talk about this thing, and I think it's very important. There are lots of persons been calling, asking as to whether, Seku, what is it? What do you make of this audio that is now circulating? Because we believe you when you say these things, you go beyond to find out as to whether it is truth or not. And so we're going to make all efforts to see as whether we can go into this. So, mind you, we're going to dig deep into that issue here tonight. But before 7 o'clock, there's something we're going to do. Mind you, we're moving towards elections, right? Moving towards elections. This is where we converge at about this time to talk about the issues that matter to our country, Liberia, and also afford you the opportunity so that your voices can be heard on all of the critical national issues in our country. Let me just read you this from the executive mansion page an hour ago. Says Farmington declaration not mere piece of paper. President Weah says as he calls on presidential candidates to lead by example. The release continues and says the President of the Republic, His Excellency Dr. George Manawia, continues to accentuate his determination to ensure that Liberia's democratic credentials are jealously upheld through the conduct of elections that meet all standards of fairness, transparency, and credibility on October 10. In a special statement Wednesday, August 2023, at a section on promoting peaceful 2023 elections, with the team building the confidence of the presidential candidates in the workings of the NEC, organized by the National Elections Commission and its partners, including ECOWAS and UN Liberia. President Weah recalled how far Liberia has come democratically and in terms of peace since the end of what he termed the dark days of conflict. He therefore challenged presidential aspirants in the pending October 10 polls to put the interest of the Republic at the highest priority during and after these electionary processes, indicating that October 10 polls present Liberians with a unique opportunity to consolidate that democracy and showcase the country's maturity in handling its democratic processes. The president said it will be an humble testament on the part of participating stakeholders, mainly presidential candidates, to their commitment to peace, security, and democracy when Liberia conducts elections this year without a peacekeeping force on the ground. The CDC political leader, who is also a contestant in the elections, urged aspirants to lead by example by ensuring that the electoral process is transparent and inclusive, thereby guarantee the unrestricted rights of every citizen to exercise their franchise peacefully. As we approach, in quote, as we approach the October 10 general and presidential elections, let us remember that the success of these elections does not exclusively rest with me or any single individual. That we have said, adding, it requires the full and commitment participation of all our citizens and the support of our friendly partners. Our collective interests in the well-being of Liberia must always remain paramount, even as we pursue our individuals' political ambitions. He described it as a proud moment that must be seized to demonstrate to the world that Liberians, as a people, are capable of handling credible and transparent elections. President Weah has reassured aspirants and all Liberians that his administration, in collaboration with the National Elections Commission, will spare no effort in ensuring that the October 10 elections meet all national and international standards. He reaffirmed his determination to uphold the principles of democracy and provide a level playing field for all candidates and political parties. But, in quote, as your president and leader, I must remind you that the task of building a peaceful and prosperous Liberia requires the collective efforts of all citizens, regardless of political affiliation. He cautioned, calling on aspirants and other political actors to put aside their differences and unite for the greater good of the nation. We must all embrace dialogue, tolerance, and the spirit of national unity to overcome any challenges that may come our way, he noted further. The president also reminded all candidates in the elections that the Farmington Declaration, which they recently signed, I'm enjoying this story, and we need to read it again. The president also reminded all candidates in the elections that the Farmington Declaration, which they recently signed, is not just a piece of paper, but rather a solemn pledge to uphold the values of democracy, peace, and inclusivity through which they have promised the people of Liberia to create an environment that is free from violence and conducive to free and fair elections. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoy it, though. And I will need to read this again. And mind you, no matter what we do, and honestly speaking, it is about time now we continue to preach peace because we're moving some difficult times in our life, in our country, where people will do everything because of power. Even if they don't have the means or they cannot win elections, they will do these things because of power. Hmm? Hmm? So, um, people will do these things because of power and all of that. But let me read you this release again. Or what I'm going to do here is, what I'm going to do here is, I want to do this. I want to get something. I want to do this. Okay. What I want to do this. So I'm going to read the release again from the president, and it's very, very important. And the thing is, we all now need to bear in mind that we need to maintain the peace. So let me read you this. It is very interesting. And I want every one of you listening to take this message from the president that we need to maintain the peace of our country. Let me go through it. Don't leave, remain there. It says, a Farmington Declaration, not mere piece of paper. President Weah says as he calls on presidential candidates to lead by example. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Dr. George Weah, continues to articulate his determination to ensure that Liberia's democratic credentials are jealously upheld through the conduct of elections that meet all standards of fairness, transparency, and credibility on October 10. In a special statement Wednesday, August 2, 2023, at a section on promoting peaceful 2023 elections with the team building the confidence of the presidential candidates in the workings of NEC, organized by the National Elections Commission and its partners, including ECOWAS and UN. Liberia, President Weah recalled how far Liberia has come democratically and in terms of peace since the end of what he termed the dark days of conflict. He therefore challenged presidential aspirants in the pending October 10 polls to put the interest of the Republic as the highest priority during and after these electioneering processes, indicating that October 10 polls present Liberians with a unique opportunity to consolidate. I love the words they use in the release to consolidate their democracy and showcase the country's maturity in handling its democratic processes. The president said it will be an honorable testament on the part of participating stakeholders, mainly presidential candidates, to their commitment to peace, security, and democracy when Liberia conducts elections this year without a peacekeeping force on the ground. The CDC political leader, who is also a contestant in the elections, urged aspirants to lead by example by ensuring that the electoral process is transparent and inclusive, thereby guarantee the unrestricted rights of every citizen to exercise their franchise peacefully. In quote, as we approach the October 10 general and presidential elections, let us remember that the success of these elections does not exclusively rest with me or any single individual. Victor Weah said, adding, it requires the full and commitment participation of all our citizens and the support of our friendly partners. Our collective interest in the well being of Liberia must always remain paramount, even as we pursue our individual political ambitions. He described it as a proud moment that must be seized to demonstrate to the world that Liberians, as a people, are capable of holding credible and transparent elections. President Weah has reassured aspirants and all Liberians that his administration, in collaboration with the National Elections Commission, will spare no efforts in ensuring that the October 10 elections meet all national and international standards. He reaffirmed his determination to uphold the principles of democracy and provide a level playing field for all candidates and political parties. But as your president and leader, I must remind you that the task of building a peaceful and prosperous Liberia requires the collective efforts of every citizen, regardless of political affiliation. He cautioned, calling on aspirants and other political actors to put aside their differences and unite for the greater good of the nation. We must all embrace dialogue, tolerance, and the spirit of national unity to overcome any challenges that may come our way. He noted further. The president also reminded all candidates in the elections that the Farmington Declaration, which they recently signed, is not just a piece of paper, but rather a solemn pledge to uphold the values of democracy, peace, and inclusivity, through which they have promised the people of Liberia to create an environment that is free from violence and conducive to free and fair elections. This is a message from His Excellency President George Weah, and I think it's very important. Let's go to the international desk. When we come back, we will need to talk about this thing. It makes a lot of sense, and it is something that we need to talk about a bit. So we will talk about it, but let's go to the international desk to talk to our international correspondents on the program tonight. Yeah, let's go to our Nigerian correspondent, Naomi Kombenda, to speak with Naomi tonight on the program, where we're going to join Naomi to give us an update about reports coming from from Nigeria about some protest taking place in the country. Naomi joins us now from Nigeria. Naomi, good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight on this show.
Good evening, Teku. Thank you for having me.
I'm told angry protesters pulled down the gate of the National Assembly in Abuja, Nigeria, over worsening economic conditions caused by the removal of subsidy on fuel. Naomi, can you bring us to speed with this development from Nigeria?
Okay, so Seku, the Senate Chief Whip, in the person of Ali Ndume, who has asked the leaders of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the trade union congresses and the protesters who were at the National Assembly this morning to call off the nationwide strike and give the Senate a week, just a week, to address the demands brought before it. It was also reported that the protesters occupied the entrance of the Senate at the National Assembly as part of its protest against the fuel subsidy removal, among other very many demands. Now, among the demands are the reduction of the school fees in public schools, which has been escalated by the government without any consideration, and also the reduction of the fuel prices that have been hiked to 520 naira, and also the repairs of the refineries, which the Labour Congress has said it was arbitrary increase and a neglect on the side of the government not to consider Nigerians. Now, the Labour unions also demanded immediate fixing of the refineries in order to stop importation of petroleum products into Nigeria. And when the chief whip was asked why they cannot have direct interface with the president, the chief whip already was pleading with them that they should please take it easy. That it's already being addressed in the green chambers. All the demands and all the concerns that Nigerians are going through, and the president is also demanding that Nigerians should call off the strike. That he's going to do something as fast as possible, and if they do not meet up the demands of the labor unions by 1 week, then they can do whatever they want to do.
How realistic are the demands of the labor unions in Nigeria?
So, Seiko, one would say some of the demands are unrealistic. One of them is the fact that they are demanding for the immediate repairs of the refineries. Nigerian refineries have been comatose for over 30 years, and it was not a responsibility of the present administration. It's been there. Billions of dollars have been used, and yet it has not been revived because of corruption. So imposing and enforcing a government which is barely 3 months to fix those refineries, I call it unrealistic. But at the other side too, the demand for a reduction in tuition fees of public universities, I think that's realistic because the government has something to do about that. But the other demands are really unrealistic.
Do you see the government of Nigeria shifting grounds as regards to the demands of the labor unions?
So there is every possibility that the government might do something. It might not be exactly in the reduction of the fuel prices, but it might do something about the tuition fee. The government has already promised to supply 30,000 buses, which are going to be divided to all the 36 states and the federal capital territory, and to be shared to the counties so that everybody moving around would have access to mobility. At least they don't have to pay their money. And also, because of this, there's this atmosphere of tension in Nigeria presently. The judgment of the just concluded elections is around the corner, plus the new coup that happened in our neighboring country, Niger. So there is so much tension and this uncomfortable atmosphere. So I believe the government is going to make a shift just to douse the tension in the country and also to make the Nigerian people happy and receptive to the administration.
Were there any chaos today in Nigeria from the actions of the labor unions in the country?
Of course, all Nigerians are angry, Sekou. Nigerians are angry at you asked me this question yesterday, and I told you it's a multifaceted question because there are so many issues making Nigerians angry. Some feel that they were cheated during the elections. Some feel that the president did not consider them. He just came up and lifted the fuel prices. At the same time, people's children in schools cannot afford to pay their school fees anymore because the school fees.
Are we losing Naomi? Uh, hope we can get Naomi right back here on the show. Naomi is okay. It's okay. Naomi is our correspondent in in Nigeria. Let's go to Amadou County. Amadou County. Let's go to Amadou County on the show. Let's go to Amadou to see as whether we can have him on. Yes, let's go to Amadou and see whether we will have Amadou on to speak to him from the Gambia, where we get in this report that um, Gambian's finance minister has appeared before members of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly to brief them about the public-private partnership framework agreement between the government of the Gambia and Africa 50 to manage the Gambia Bridge. And so we want to talk to Amadou Kante to see as what we're having on today. And we if we can, then we move ahead with some other important issues on the program. There's something I want to bring. Let's leave that. As we move towards the October elections, fellow Liberians, there's no way possible that we will not talk about politics and will not educate the people about what are the issues and what they need to know about. Now, here's something I want you, maybe for those of you that you've not been aware about the total, political parties that got registered voters, voting precincts, voting places. Sometimes during the elections, you have people mixing up precincts and places. Even sometimes journalists, when they about to report, these are things that gave some difficulties, and just like that. But from the National Elections Commission website, they reporting that the total number of political parties that got registered, it is around 46. 46 registered political parties. Imagine Liberia, 46. We have 46 registered political parties. 46. 46 political parties. And then you have the next number you have is the next one you have here is registered voters is around 2,471,617. That is for those of the registered voters, yes, in the country. Yes, much better, in the country. And you have these registered voters here. You have it around 2,471,617. Then you get voting precincts. How many? The number of voting precincts we have? It's is around. Let me give you the exact number that we have. Voting precincts. You have 2,080 voting precincts across the country. Eh? We will reach to those of you that are watching, will recognize you, will call the names of people that are watching. And so the voting precincts, you got 2,080, and the voting places, you got 5,911, the entire country. This is what the National Elections Commission they have on their website. So um like you listen to the release I read concerning the president. This time up to 7, there's something I want us to do. But before we do that, I will just read few of call names of few of the people that are watching, joining us on where they're joining us. Let me just recognize them. Then I will go to what I want to say. Uh, for your information, I think this thing has been circulating on social media where you have Vivian Naomi, right? Okay, I'm going to tell you, she has been charged, and I will give you her charges from the police, and she's being forwarded now to, I think, the prison area. Hmm? Yeah. It says, let me go to the names. You got Saros Adia Kona. Saros is he's a candidate. I don't know whether he has received his his final certification from the National Elections Commission. But Saros is a candidate now in Magibi County. I think he's contesting in district number 4. So Saros Adia Kona, he says, I'm following live from Kakata. And Sue Coleman said, I'm following from the National Aspirants Council of Liberia. Where they get the National Aspirants Council? You get Majebe Bobo Son Kamara says, good evening to you. I joined you from UAE, Abu Dhabi. What happened with the WhatsApp number? Sorry, we'll get the WhatsApp number up actively shortly. You will soon have it. Queenie Liberia Queen. Queenie Liberia Queen says, following from her bell bus. And then she went ahead. She said, Queenie Liberia Queen says, treat me like a rock star. Recognize me, oh, celebrity following. Okay. You got Philip Paswa says, hi, CEO Sekovi Sharif Junior. Pupa TV is also following. I'm following from Central Monrovia. Adam and Jazz says, brother, thank you for upgrading the media international. Sekovi Sharif, you are strong. Thank you, my brother. Sarah Stuart says, good evening, Mr. Sharif. How are you doing? It been a while. Yes, we are around, Chief. Sarah Thor continues to write, says, I'm watching you from Kakata City, Magibi County. Thank you very much for joining us. And I pray which you can continue to share and have it so that others can follow as well. Now, let me give you this information before I go to this of our discussion. I hope I have it. If I don't, then I made a great mistake of it. But I thought, okay, I have it here. Okay, this thing that has been on social media, um, uh, where you have the aspect of I mean you saw on social media that Vivian went a bit on Naomi because of her boyfriend, and she said her boyfriend uh, she called the guy her husband. Just a whole long story, but just to let you know, finally she was being brought to town. Uh, she was being brought to town. They had a press conference on yesterday, so she's been charged, and I think she's going to be forwarded to court. I'm barely seeing some of the things here, but I'm going to screen out myself to read the charges. It's based upon the complaint of Vivian Naomi Saki of Yekepa, community Nimba County, blah, 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 blah. Defending Vivian Dent of Banga City, Bon County. She left from where Banga, was arrested in I don't know what the time is not clear of chapter was has been or was arrested in violation of chapter 10 section 10.1 criminal attempt to commit murder chapter with chapter 14 point section 14.2 aggravated assault chapter 18 section 18.7 uh the other one you're not clear. Yeah, so she's been charged and she's been forwarded and she's gonna go to court now, and then the needful gonna happen. I think I don't want to go in deep with that, but I think that will serve as a deterrent for those who want to do something. If you watch that video, you will feel bad. You will really really feel bad, but I think the law as let she go and facing the law if she's right to do what she did. That the law takes a course, and we will continue to follow that issue. By the way, so most of us we have our different political parties. Most of us we have our interest in different candidates. Here's some of the things that will happen in the elections. Some of the people will not vote based on political party lining or something. Some people will vote on their own personal interest with some of the people in elections, and you have different results coming. But I want us to do something. Many senators, representatives on different districts, counties, I'm not talking about the new ones. And I want you people to listen and listen well. I'm not talking about the new ones, those of the people that are wanting to come, those of the people that have never served. I'm talking about those lawmakers that just took break or that went for break that should go for elections. The active, the incumbent lawmakers. We're looking at representatives. We're looking at the Liberian Senate. Liberians, you are the voters. You have the sole power that you gave the lawmakers to work in your interests. I want you people tonight, vote of any, we're going to open the lines. And this is not limited to Montserrat County. It cuts across the country. With the number of registered voters we have, polling places, polling precincts, I want you Liberians to give us your report. What do you make of the workings of those lawmakers that are now going for re-elections? Do you think, I want you to be specific, call their names. Do you think they worth re-elections? If you think they should be re-elected, give me one reason. I don't need you to be too bucket, and I don't want you to be so personal and use all kinds of words on people. No, this is not about presidency. It is about representatives and senators. And it is not about those of the people that wanting to contest now, newcomers. No, we're talking about the equipment, those of the people that already been in this power and they're going to be going for elections. They want re-elections. We want you to grade them. Tell us, what have they done? Do you think it is worth enough to have John Brown re-elected as representative or as senator? You need to call the person in. For example, if you call, your name is XYZ. I think the lawmaker of District XYZ needs to be re-elected. Reason is he has done this. Finish. You don't need to be too bucky. I'm calling because I want this senator from this county to be re-elected because since he became what he has done this, and this is the improvement or whatever. Then we get to know. That is what we need you to do tonight. This is not about a political party. This is not about which one of the political parties you from. This is about your honest grading and thinking about the people you've elected. They've been serving you. Now they're going to come back to you, asking you to re-elect them. Are you going to accept it? Or you think that it is just necessary, it is unnecessary to have them re-elected, that you need a new face? But someone always said, it's better to, no, let me leave that. 07709079070 907 are the numbers. For those of you out of Liberia, maybe you want to weigh in, you know the workings. Call us on the WhatsApp line. Our WhatsApp line has been active now. +231 770 907 plus 231 077. I mean plus 231 770 907 907. That's the WhatsApp line. We're gonna take the very first caller here.
Hello?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Sekou. How are you?
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you for affording me the opportunity, Sekou Sherry.
Mm.
My name is Mohammed Artis, a resident of District 17,
Mm.
Banjo to be Pacific.
Mm.
Sekou, thank you for selecting that ring bathroom. May Allah bless you.
I mean, go ahead.
Yeah. Sekou, for me, my district doesn't have representative. We don't have no equivalent representative in the district.
Which district?
District 17, there's
Yeah.
no lawmaker here. The lawmaker that will get saying God elected, he moved for here, living in Cayman, and he said he won't be senator there. So the people in Cayman that register and vote there, they will decide his fate over there.
Mm-mm.
So we don't have an incumbent here. So I want to talk about one lawmaker that
No.
needs to be re-elected.
No.
Honorable Abu Kam.
No. District, you said District 17?
District 17.
Okay.
Don't live here.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. He's going to be contesting in Grand Cape, man. You're right.
Yeah, so I just want to talk about one representative that needs to be re-elected in Mosorado County. And that representative is nobody, it's Honorable Abu Bana Kamara of District 15. The reason why Honorable Kamara will be re-elected, Honorable Kamara went to one community called Fifth Island. That place there, there's a road there, that place of island, there's a bridge there that used to give the people hard time where students, when we went there, they put out Honorable Kamara to face that bridge. So that bridge is somewhere around Survival Street.
Okay, thank you. Let's take another person. Good evening. Good evening. You are live.
What's up, Chief?
Good evening. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Emmanuel, you need to be audible, please.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not cool.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel from District Sekou.
Mm.
I don't know whether the first topic is something that we can discuss, the one that you talk about. The release that came from the executive mansion that you were reading.
We will talk about that at 7 o'clock, moving a bit. Mm-hmm. Let's
So
talk.
I can speak to it?
No, you can't speak to it now. We're talking about a particular thing now, Smith.
Oh, okay. If I were to decide for the people of Liberia, all the lawmakers from CDC should not be re-elected.
So, Smivel, you see how you don't follow simple instruction?
I'm following the conversation.
How do you say you would decide from Liberia or Liberians?
If I had the power.
But I'm asking, we ask you simple questions for your district or where you are.
You could ask me why I say so.
No, but I don't want to ask you because it's not what we want. We want you to speak for your district. You can speak for everyone.
For my district and other district adjacent my district, I mean, I will appeal to the people to vote people who have been in the interest of the Liberian people, or not the people that bear the CDC emblem. You guys.
So Smivel,
yeah,
you want to blame all the bad things to CDC lawmakers, right?
All the bad things that happen.
So what about the good things? What about the good things?
Nothing good. Nothing good.
No way you will say bad things happen, no good thing happen.
But
so what about the good things that happen there?
Name me one good thing.
No, thank you, Smith. We're not going to take this discussion from this thing. Hello? Okay, let me take another person. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Let's hear you. We're good. Let's hear you.
For me, I'm Philip Estam. I'm calling from District 11.
Mm-hmm.
To be precise, Upper Power, where for us we don't have a lawmaker.
How you say you don't get lawmaker?
Because we don't see it.
Hey, man, my member.
No,
who the lawmaker from District 11?
Rejekum. Know him.
Hey, man.
He only know about Banache and boy.
My man, we ask you people simple question. If you want this man to retain his position, you say. If you don't want him, you say we should go. We should not make things long here. Why you think he should not be re-elected?
He should go because he don't care for his people and for the Senate. Somebody from Brownsville.
Idrissa, go ahead. No, 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 man, lead the man, lead the man. No, 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 no. He has his right. No, go ahead to the point. Sir, please go ahead to the point, please. No, no, my man, no, we can't allow. Go ahead to the point. We'll pick you. We'll pick you. Hello.
Yes, how are you, sir?
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel Richardson, and I joined a conversation from Upper Car with District 11.
Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yes, look, if you can't District 11, this place has been presided over by a Unity Party lawmaker. But if you can't in our district, like we don't even have any lawmaker here. This district, I can say it have been a partner. Can't District 11, come and ask. All right.
Were you people electing now? All I want to when you say, were you people electing? You think he needs to be re-elected or not?
No. That particular man is a true environment of our district, so I think it is time for you to back it low and leave our district.
Thank you. This person. Good evening.
Yeah, evening, sir. How are you doing?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And just a simple instruction, people. I don't know. And you already have patience. Simple instruction in your district. But your lawmaker should go back or not. Period and that. It's not going back because of this. Period.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just dancing. You want to tell you to run your own show?
The problem with this.
That is your topic. That's what we should discuss.
Go ahead,
I don't really know. I'm sorry. I'm from District 16. And for me, I don't really know right now. And for me, I don't think you should go back.
Who's your lawmaker?
It's honorable people.
Why you think he should not be re-elected?
Because for the place I'm from, the Central Borough of Kutam, I have nothing at all.
Okay, thank you very much. Very easy.
Hello, Segu.
Good evening.
How you doing?
Yeah, let's hear you.
Jim S. Larry from Proville.
Yeah, brother, go ahead.
Segu, thank you for the show. You know, simple expression of our call for Proville is something. I think you are the one most stupid.
Hey, my man, listen. No, okay, I will take another person. You're not insult on this show like that, though. Hello?
Yeah, Segu.
Good evening.
Yeah, Idrissa somebody.
Idrissa, let's allow other people call. And you just call?
But I'm going
No, sorry. I cut the mail off. Sorry, we're not coming to make the show like that, please. Let's take another person. Hello,
Segu.
Yeah.
Careful calling for New District 16. So, for me, there was simple reason of my lawmaker. This is able to go by in the house because I don't want for everything to be easy for my personal choice we have for a second time in the house. Because there is understand the president or the bill, so I want to go back for a second time.
Okay.
For the Senate, I want to just let it be there and they laughter.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
That's what this thing calling from district number 11 around Brad feature, not too far from the lawmaker of the district. I think the lawmaker do the do.
Which district?
Because he got no.
Which district?
No, district number 11.
District number 11. Who's your lawmaker?
Hello.
Who is your lawmaker?
Richard Nangakun.
Why you think he should not be re-elected?
Yeah, he should take the exit door because he got no impact in the district.
Okay. Thank you very much. This person. Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
My name is Jeff. I'm joining you from Proville to be precise. From Thursday. And for me, no DC lawmakers be related.
I will cut you off because the simple instruction I gave you. Anybody you give me hard time, I cut you off. Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening. Okay. How you doing?
I'm okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm Mustafa Tony. I'm calling from the bottom there. Yeah, but I had a body right in Cape Man.
Yeah, my man, talk about Cape Man. In Cape Man, which district you want to vote in? Who the lawmaker you not want to be?
That was district number 2, Mahusoni, and he will be going as senator at the county level. And we were supporting him to go as senator because he did a lot of work in Cape Man. And we have Bola, who went in the whole entire district, the 3 districts that they Kaula, Popa, Atewa.
Why you think he will be he should be who the representative there is Mabu Soni, right?
Yeah, Mabu Soni, we the person representative in Daula district number 2.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to another person here. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Mohammed Joseph. I'm calling from District 2, Monserrado County, Jacobtown. Jimmy Smith will not go back.
Why?
Because the Megan do nothing in the district. States that may get in power. At the 6 years now, they may only made one time district report. From that time up to now, nothing. Now you go to the district office. So debt parking behind the district office. You're not doing nothing in the district. Like CDC rejected him.
Okay, thank you. This person. Hello.
Yeah, Segu.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Let's hear you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I remain the political officer of the National Response and Defense Team, Allah Proper Defender Peter McCauley. Save last basketball. Segu, I mean, give God the glory for the unique questions that you posed to us. Let me start. I will be having 3 ballot papers to the ballot box. I will be make sure to retain factor developmental judgment where because for the unprecedented development across the country. In Monserrado County, where I restricted, I will be voting for Sahari Joseph because for the humanitarian sake in Monserrado County. But Seku,
representative.
When it comes to the representative, Seku, we talk.
No, talk.
You
talk.
Seku,
Who you in district number 9, right?
I in district number 9.
Who what you think the current lawmaker, Honorable Frank Safoko, should be re-elected or he should not be re-elected?
That's why no comment for that yet.
Why you got no comment?
The meaning to be real, say he gave me the platform, me that talk.
And they think the question I will ask you, he should be re-elected or not?
When it comes to the re-election of Prince Afoko in district number 9, like the way some of us
go to the point, I mean, no time.
Prince Afoko will fight. There's a battle ahead.
You think he should be re-elected or not?
No comment later.
They made a brother talk. Hello? Hello? You thought your CDC people will come for you. Hello? Good evening. Okay. Hello? Good evening. Oh, why is there people on the lines not talking? Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm electing
we're not talking about president yet. You're not hear the show, eh? And we're talking about lawmakers. We're talking about lawmakers issue here. They say president. We're not talking about president business. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Azi Hussein at the only conversation that you want to spend number 14. Yeah, firstly, I want to ask you, do you know a honorable man by the name of Abraham Manapone?
Mama, don't be asking me. Go to the point.
You know, President, the reason I ask you this question because this man has failed us on this side of this country, in this district. This man.
Do you think he should be re-elected or not? As easy as it is.
No.
Why he should not be re-elected?
Because he has failed the people.
Okay, thank you. The thing is very easy. I don't know why you people can make things complicated. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening, Seku. My name is Emmett Puru, and I join your conversation this evening from Central Monrovia, to be precise, District number 7, Monserrado County. Thanks for the conversation in regards to the topics on discussion. And for district number 7, Honorable Solomon Josh is best suited to be re-elected based on these reasons. One, Honorable Solomon Josh is very much accessible.
We just new one. We just new one. Thank you, Senator.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to another person here. Hello.
Yeah, good evening. I'm sorry, I'm working on the south with the north.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I'm first calling from Tunisia. I will be voting in Lima. I'm going to say Prince Johnson and the two. I'm going to vote.
Give us reason. Give us reason why.
The reason for the two is that the current lawmaker is not as a local lawmaker.
No, we're not talking about those of the people that wanted to come there. We're talking about the current person you are voting or you're not voting. That's what we're not asking you for who you want to vote for. We're asking you whether the current lawmaker will be re-elected or not. Didn't you hear us?
The current lawmaker will not be re-elected.
Why? Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying that we will be voting for George when we have to repeat the provision and the church will be voting out to be
I told you I gave you simple instruction. Hello, let me take this other person here. Hello.
Hello, Sir. How you doing?
Yeah, good evening.
Hello?
Go ahead, you're live.
Hello?
You're live, sir. Okay, let me take this other person. I say you are live. I don't know. This MTN line, we need to have it. I don't know. It's getting too much. Whenever people call on it, I don't know. So call us on 0770907 907 0770907907, and then we're gonna have you on the show. I'm gonna take a few more calls on this issue. We'll go transition. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm Mr. David calling from Puebla. Attention number 2. How many teams will be voted on? Because we lack the leadership ability. So for that reason, we're voting on.
Thank you. Thank you. This person.
Hello?
Yeah?
Yes, I'm Patrick Kuzan, Johnny Van Kawa, New Junction. Yes, I'm going to be really. Yes.
Okay, let me take this person. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, I'm Vamakana from Matale.
Yes, sir.
But I have voted in Lofa County District.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Tuli Thomas is the representative of District Lofa County. But we don't want to see her at all. Simply nothing going at this place.
Why you think you don't want her to be re-elected?
No more entering that building, my brother. All the houses are going Lofa County District 2. You never allow me to have care for all in that district. They're in that building eating the money.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello, Stego.
Good evening. I'm okay.
I'm calling from Bon Mines. I'm Mr. Sear.
You're listening to us from Bon Mines, from the radio station, right?
No.
Oh, you where are you calling from now?
From John Hill.
Okay, John Hill, where? In Bon Mines?
Bon Mines, yeah, Bon Mines.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear you.
No, I just want to give you advice. You know, when you carry on the show, I most of the time listen to you. But that guy who always calls you to make fun all of you, you know, he's taking you to be a labor. Tell him that you're not small. Your rule is a rule. What you say is the final. Don't let him to make mockery out of you. You know, it help me.
I know.
Don't get him changed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. They're from Bon Mines joining us. They're in Bon County. Thank you for listening to us all the time on the radio. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, thank you. Calling from District 6. In there is a voice of Lawson Augustine Sagacious Wisdom. District 6 headed by Honorable Samuel R. Enos. Samuel Enos will never be re-elected. This lawmaker have caused a serious embarrassment for us in the identical district. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, this thing is very interesting. Some lawmakers then listening. Hello.
This is Edmond. We do have a say for the re-election of President. We are calling from Dubo Road. I'm in District 4, and our lawmaker is Rosalind Swakoko Dennett. She feels also she should not be re-elected. Then she win the election, she lost. So now she coming outside to her party. Too happy before.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This other person here. That is it. Easy as it is. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah. Usually we are calling for District 15. Yeah. Mr. Abu Kamara will not be re-elected.
Why? Give us the reason now.
Yeah, because you see, I don't see nothing happening doing the district. So we'll put you Paulo Collins there for our representative.
Thank you. When I ask you who you put there. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, I'm Steven Kamara from Oro. But I have voted in Lofa County. District 2.
But go ahead, ba.
Yeah. We have a representative called Julie Fatoma to look like a bobo, not even lawmaker for us. To take out to be community, maybe us here for us in our district. So we have to stay away from that district. We want no more.
Thank you very much. This person. Good evening. Good evening. Let's hear you. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, let's hear you.
Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah, my name is Johnny Briggs Nangwe, and I'm calling from district number 7.
Johnny, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, our representative will never be re-elected.
Who's your representative?
Solomon Joe.
Why you think he should not be re-elected?
Because he is very hostile again and can respect for female.
Thank you. The next person. We just need one reason. Hello?
Hello?
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, let's hear you.
Yeah, my name remains constant. I'm Jason Emmanuel calling from electoral district number 2. Yeah, the present lawmaker who happens to be on Jimmy Smith will never be elected because when you look at the 3 cardinal functions of lawmaking, the brother in Jimmy Smith lost all of that. So there's no way Jimmy Smith will be retained as a lawmaker of district number 2.
You see the brother in what? They got it. Oh, man, okay, thank you. Okay, they mentioned the brother in Jimmy Smith. Yeah. Hey, politician, you political guys there. Your papa. Hello?
Hello.
Good evening. Good evening. You come in broken. Hope you can do adjustment from your end. Good evening.
Good evening, Sebo.
Yes, let's hear you, Mama.
I'm Letitia. I'm calling from district number 10.
District 10. Go ahead. Who's your lawmaker?
Yes, Koruba.
Let's hear you.
It's a complete embarrassment to this district with 40 out. Yes.
Okay, thank you. It's a complete embarrassment and you people were voting out, she said. Okay, thank you very much. And this is it, the beauty of democracy, like what the president spoke about today. Hello?
How you doing, brother?
Good evening, let's hear you.
I'm James George from Oro. We try to put the Koriba up because it's a complete embarrassment to the district. And you are very rude representative that we not doing nothing for the district, but we need to insult popularity. We're voting all of the district.
Okay, thank you. This other person. Hello? Okay, let me the calls are too many. I want to transition to something different, but the calls are still coming. Good evening. Hello?
Huh?
Yes?
Yeah, Segu, how are you, Chief?
I'm okay. Go ahead.
Hello?
You are live, Chief.
Hello?
You are live. You are live.
Hello?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I'm Usman Bangora. I call from district number 2. Yeah, the brother that you are. Thank you for the show. And our own district, I can say that we don't have a representative because.
Who's your lawmaker?
This brother, Engineer Smith.
Will you elect him or will you not re-elect him?
No. Over my dead brother, I will sit down.
Give us reason. Give us reason why you think he should not be re-elected.
It's better to go in the barracks to go learn.
Hey, my man, I'm not asking you where he should go. Why you think he should not?
district number 133, he accessible to the people in this district.
Okay.
Our real goal is in try to try and push to try and to.
Thank you. We take the last caller on the line. Hello. Good evening, sir.
Having so calling my rational community station number 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our representatives Moses account and you will not be re-elected when you're found on the district.
Okay. Thank you. I want to say the last, but stay. The other calls are coming. Hello.
Yeah,
You the last person, yo.
Idrissa.
Idrissa again?
Yeah, hey, this is how I call you. When you do it, imagine you always be misbehaving on your show.
Okay.
Angry for Frederick.
Okay.
I love
No problem.
you, but I will be misbehaving on you. You're my Muslim brother.
No problem, brother.
I want to be angry. Not the air.
Okay. Okay.
Angry, your brother.
Hey, no, leave it. Thank you very much, my brother. Let's keep it civil. Let's at least he always show himself. I don't want us to. Okay, let me say thank you to every one of you that called, and we're gonna have these kinds of engagements as we move towards the October elections, so as to allow you. And it's always important and good so that we know what the people that we've elected are to serve us for the number of years, whether they've done something in the interest of the people or they still need to do more when they shall have been re-elected the October elections. Now we're going to move on to something. And like I said, from our earlier deliberation, there have been lots of things concerning a leaked audio where I received calls. Some people started to ask, and they wanted to know the true nature of the audio because it has been challenged. It has been challenged. It was on yesterday. They said Senator Prince Johnson had a press conference where he said the voice is his voice, but it was being doctored. It is not what he said or X, Y, Z, and all of that. Fair enough. Fair enough. And it is our responsibility as journalists whenever these things come about to make our own uh, independent investigation about it. And tonight we all gonna discuss this together. Let me just give you this parable before I move ahead. That is the reason why when you have children within the home and you try to observe, there are different ways of doing things. Some of them will be that cool person. Some of them will be very aggressive. Some of them will be too hot. Some of them will be fearless. And when you understand their characters, whenever they say something happened, you definitely will know which one of them did what happened based on the trace to their characters. It is within the case of Senator Prince Johnson. Now, I want us to ask ourselves, is that a big thing for Senator Prince Johnson to say, to denigrate whosoever he has had partnership or whatsoever with? Or is it something that Senator Prince Johnson cannot do? You want to agree with me that it is just as small as anything that he could do or can do more than what we've heard. Evidence of what we're going to be, making you to retrospect about, play you some other things. But I'm just going to start from this government because I don't want to go from Ellen's time up to it will be very long. Senator Prince Johnson entered a marriage with this government. And Senator Prince Johnson is noted for praising you when you guys are in marriage. When he leaves you, he says all the worst things about you, as if to say he had never praised you in his entire life, as if to say he had never ever seen your good doings or your wrongdoings when he's with you. Now, I'm building the foundation of what we're going to restore. So, within this case, I want you, let my producer play you one of his statements where he was praising the government. It is something that we all have heard, where he was praising the government. Play that. One of his statements where he was praising the government.
Mandatory or profane languages on statement against this president. That's wrong. You are the other man in the country, old man like you. You got heart trouble. You thought that you collapse. Somebody help you today, you're speaking. You should be thankful. In everything, give thanks. That is the bigger picture of men who save their life through God's power. John Ware was the vessel God knew to save Joseph Boyka. Today, because mandatory.
Fellow Liberians, I want you to listen. Tonight, we don't need to put our feelings into the discussion. We need to discuss the issues and have it to rest. I'm going to play this again. I want you to listen to some of the things he said, some of the words he used, some of the great things he said. And we will compare that to what that just came up that people are saying that, oh no, it is not the senator, even though the senator said yes, but it was being dotted. No. Play that recording again.
Mandatory or profane languages on statement against this president. That's wrong. You are the other man in the country, old man like you. You got heart trouble. You thought that you collapse. Somebody help you today, you're speaking. You should be thankful. In everything, give thanks. That is the bigger picture of men who save their life through God's power. John Ware was the vessel God knew to save Joseph Boyka. Today, because mandatory or profane languages on statement against this president. That's wrong.
Okay. You listen? That is Senator Prince Johnson. He said all the things he said on the radio, not in a secret. And fellow Liberians, for those of you that have not heard this audio, I'm going to play it. Play the audio, the recent leaked audio. I want you to listen, then I will say something.
Is he a presidential material?
So let's get this audio for you so you listen. This recent leaked audio. That is not what I want. I need the first one. Play the first audio. The one you just played. For sorry is the producer that is
or profane languages on statement against this president. That's wrong. Mr. Weir is a boy. Then I think he's a good.
Okay, let me get you listen to this, folks. And I want you to listen and listen well to this audio. Listen to this audio.
Too temperamental, too aggressive, negatively aggressive. Is that the kind of person you want to be, father, Mr. Boyka? When you become vice president, will you not, Mr. Boyka, to become president tomorrow? Just tell Let me just tell you something. Jeremiah Cohen, too temperamental, too aggressive, negatively aggressive. Is that the kind of person you want to be, father, Mr. Boyka? When you become vice president, will you not, Mr. Boyka, to become president tomorrow?
You listen to it? So, the reason why I played the very first audio, the very scene Ambassador Boyka that he supports today, he said some of the worst things about him. Can you say, because sometimes you would say Prince Johnson will not be brave to say what he said. Is that so big of what he said on that conversation with the person than what he even said in the public where he said Joe Boyka is sick, ungrateful, he was dying, it was the help of the president? You know, we need to be honest. And let me say this to you, and I want you to mark this. From a reliable source, Senator Prince Johnson will not remain within the Unity Party. I want you people to mark this today and have this on record. Senator Prince Johnson will not remain in Unity Party. Some of you don't understand the workings of Senator Prince Johnson. What I just played, this audio, is a real audio and it is not dotted.
Okay, Jeremiah Cohen, too temperamental, too aggressive, negatively aggressive. Is that the kind of person you want to be, father, Mr. Boyka? When you become vice president, will you not, Mr. Boyka, to become president tomorrow?
Okay, so let me tell you some of the things maybe you don't know. Do you know the reason why Senator Prince Johnson did all he could to have Senator Jeremiah Kuhn on the ticket of the Unity Party? This is what some of you don't know. Let me tell you today. Senator Prince Johnson has been in the marriage with the CDC government, and it is alleged, because of that, I don't have any facts. It is alleged that he needed some other things from the government, like campaign, other stuff, and everything, but he could not get it. But that is not the thing. Where is it? Senator Prince Johnson thought that his connection to the presidency and the government was weakening by the moment since the time he introduced Jeremiah Kuhn to the government and the president. Listen, Senator Prince Johnson felt within himself that since the time he introduced Senator Jeremiah Kuhn to the president and the government, there were no consultations like the way it used to be. There were no serious, issues any longer discussed with him. So most of the issues now were being discussed with Senator Jeremiah Kuhn. One point in time, the government went to Nimba County. I'm speaking from a very close source from within the office of Senator Prince Johnson. I won't call the source name. I won't tell you whether the person is a female or male, but the person works within the office of Senator Prince Johnson. And the person is in the know of everything he does. And so there was this time that the government needed to go for a particular program. I will not call that particular program because if I call that program, he will get to know exactly who is it I'm talking about. So the government did not inform him, quote unquote, but Jeremiah Kuhn was being informed. The president and his entourage arrived in the county. Jeremiah Kuhn was the one that gave whatsoever to the government and the president at the time. So the senators started to complain that, since he introduced Senator Jeremiah Kuhn, he no longer have access to the presidency. Whenever he wants to reach to the president, no way. And lots of things started to happen. But let me tell you, Senator Prince Johnson is a very crafty old man. You're listening to the story. So what the old man decided to do, what I'm saying to you tonight, I want you to keep it. Because there will come a time where the people will not remain in the marriage. You will say, oh, said it. So Senator Prince Johnson decided to say, okay, I'm no longer having the support from the government. They're not listening to me. Nothing is happening my way. And you have Jeremiah Kuhn is like the darling ball. Mind you, politics is about interest. So Senator Prince Johnson felt that, okay, because he's going for re-elections, his re-elections is not 100% clear as to whether he's going to be re-elected or not. So he's seeing himself as, he's seeing himself, but he is the godfather for Nima County. So Jeremiah Kuhn too, so he has that ambition, that ambiguity. He too, he started playing the card with what the government wants. The government started to play some support to him, which anybody would do. The government was not wrong because election is about interest. Because the government people know that Senator Prince Johnson is not reliable. Today he's with you. Tomorrow he goes the other way. Boom. Senator Prince Johnson crafted the thing and said, no, if I allow this ball to remain here, I won't benefit anything. So what did he do? Senator Prince Johnson decided to reach out to Unity Party that was so in need that they could accept anything. Even though this same man has said the worst things about the political leader, not knowing, did not care. And he proffered a suggestion that, okay, you know what? Nima has the votes and everything. We can allow one of the sons of Nima to be on the ticket. It will make Nimarians to vote for the candidature of Unity Party. Do you know why he decided to do it? Because he wants to get Senator Jeremiah Kuhn far from the government. Mind you, because the way Senator Jeremiah Kuhn now is the vice president for Unity Party, you know definitely CDC will not do business with them. CDC see him as a major opposition. So that relationship all has gotten better. It was what Senator Prince Johnson wanted. So I'm saying this because you're listening to the audio, you not know some of the deep things there and say, oh, Senator Johnson did not say, he said it. And there are some even some strong other recordings that I will play on this radio about Senator Prince Johnson. He said it. So he decided to use that idea and it worked out for him. He got Jeremiah Kuhn, but Jeremiah Kuhn did something to Prince Johnson before. When Prince Johnson and the layers of Bangura and other people formed under the NUDP, Songana Party, he opened hands to Jeremiah Kuhn. Jeremiah Kuhn got in that party. He stole the party from Prince Johnson. That was the reason why they formed the MDR. They formed the MDR. This is the same Jeremiah Kun that now he allows to serve as the political leader. What did he do? Jeremiah Kun knows that joining the party, having some smarter people there, he will not have his way through. He decided to hunt certain people to get him off the hole. So with all these things, Senator Prince Johnson feels that he needs to damage Jeremiah Kun to get fired from the government. So he took Jeremiah Kun there. When Jeremiah Kun too decided now his head has getting so big, he feels that he can become the next vice president of this country. Are you kidding me? Or Jeremiah Kun? So this is what the old man said in one of his conversations. That just the one you're hearing, that imagine he just sent Jeremiah Kun to the Unity Party. Jeremiah Kun is no longer consulting him again. He does everything by himself. He goes to meeting, do everything by himself. He doesn't care about him again. But he said when he's ready, he will shake the boat. So this recording that you are hearing, it is not a strange thing, and you hear more from Senator Prince Johnson. And I'm saying this to you, and I want you to have me on record. Senator Prince Johnson will not end the game with Unity Party. Senator Prince Johnson will not end the game with Unity Party. This is the game he plays, and anyone could do it. But the thing about him is he doesn't do his own with that level of respect and honesty. Senator Prince Johnson will not remain with Unity Party. So the whole thing he's on is just something that, he knows how to play his card. That you cannot take from Senator Prince Johnson. He knows how to play his card. So now he's feeling some of the heat that is now going towards him, where you have the government has put someone there. Unity Party, even though they've agreed that don't put people here and everything, they are feeling candidates. And it could be a serious blow to him. So he's using, and he must have said that thing to cause some confusion among them, because he expects Senator Kun to be there to defend him in some of the decisions that Unity Party is taking to few candidates in the districts, in some of the areas where you have MDR. And this is what is ongoing. This is it. So when some of you that say, that's the reason why I played that recording. And so, Senator Prince Johnson, no, he didn't. No, he said it. Senator Prince Johnson has said some worst things, some recordings I got. Me, I won't let it open the elections. When I open the elections, you will know. You think that these people don't know the problems they have, and they want to tweak it and make it to look like they say, they're the good people? Senator Prince Johnson knows that Joe cannot become a president. He knows that Joe cannot become a good president. He's not a presidential material. He knows. But the old man, what he does, he goes for his interest. And this recording is fair enough. It's true. That is the correct characterization of Senator Kun. He's so power drunk to the extent he can do anything because of power. Imagine Senator Prince Johnson saying that, the man saying that he coming become the vice president of this country, and this is what he's going to do. This is what he's going to. Are you kidding me? No, it is the right of him to contest. But there's one thing, you cannot win. And some of you say, Senator Kun won elections in Nimba County 2 different times as he won as representative, he won as senator. Mind you, listen to this. It was the support of CDC, because he joined MDR. He got the support of CDC, not just the MDR. Do you know how many persons' hands that Senator Prince Johnson put up in Nimba County that lost the elections? And you still think that Nima would just be controlled? Yes, everybody know. But Kun himself, Kun doesn't want for Prince Johnson to win the elections. Kun wants to be the godfather of Nimba County. So you're going to find out honor mining game. Do you know that Kun is supporting other people in the county against the interest of Senator Prince Johnson? There are things you don't know. These are some of the facts we're giving to you. It is what they're doing. There are people that Senator Kuhn is sponsoring and supporting against the interests of Senator Prince Johnson. And this thing, it is something very serious. Let me play it and we'll go to the lines. I just thought to say some of the, I've been keeping some of the informations, but when the public is in need of the information, you need to give them.
Let me just tell you something. Jeremiah Cohen, too temperamental, too aggressive, negatively aggressive. Is that the kind of person you want to be under, Mr. Boycott? When you become vice president, will you not keep Mr. Boycott to become president tomorrow?
And what he say here too is truth. Kuhn is power drunk. Kuhn is power drunk. Wait. 0770907907077707907 0880-907-907 are the two numbers to join us tonight. And fellow Liberians, it is the fair truth and the real story that I've explained to you. There's a bad blood. They won't tell you. Hello? Look at this other person here. The WhatsApp line is +231 770-907-907 +231 770-907-907 is the WhatsApp line. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
I'm Gene Corner. I lie down and keenly listen to your conversation regard to Senator Kuhn and Senator Prince Johnson.
You got to go ahead quick, please. You have other people.
Wait a minute, but it's confusing. Do you think, why you said, if it is true, that it was Prince Johnson who recommended Kuhn to CDC, and he has seen Kuhn's behavior of that such, he turned around again and recommend him to the veteran old man so he can be VP to him? What's the logic in that?
Very good. That's a very good question.
Are you not so see?
Listen. That's a good question.
Among the Liberian people.
Listen.
That's a great lie. I see the reason why.
I thought you wanted me to give you asked a very good question. I wanted to answer, but then you started. Hello.
So right there.
Good evening. Let's hear you, my brother.
Johnson, we are Johnny from Nibuta.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. The Prince Johnson came on air and make clarity that is audio is tested. So why are you playing the circle? Because the statement was referring to your original Lawrence, but it was adopted by adding Jeremiah Kuhn from the previous statement that he mentioned Jeremiah Kuhn. So the statement was not even
you can English, you use it. What's the meaning of dotted?
I said the audio someone
I'm asking you, what is the meaning of dotted?
Someone merged the audio with another audio that he mentioned Jeremiah Kuhn name. So this statement is referring.
Thank you, man. You can just get people speaking, you just speak the bump. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, I think we're calling from Johnsonville.
What? But you coming in too bad, man. I will not tell you to move from your monitor. Move from your monitor when you call. You live on the radio here, though. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Tom. I'm calling from Lokintown.
Go ahead.
It's just looking different because why did audio just looking short like this?
You come in. Do adjustment from where you are, please. Hello.
Yes, Sekou.
Yes.
Evening. This is Sam from the borough of Kuta. Yes, this the audio that is just playing that it was yesterday morning when Winston called him asking to authenticate that audio. When he was responding,
hello, do you expect this man to agree to that damaging audio?
He will never agree.
So what was
he? Agree. They will never agree. That's what I'm coming about. That's what I'm coming to. When I called him yesterday, he contradicted his very self. He told Winston, I never listened to it back again. He told Winston that monitor the audio, even Kone was never mentioned, which is not right. He said monitor the audio. He said the audio was jumping. It was cut and paste. Exactly what he used. But for God in heaven, and another thing he said that it was the time Nyomble, wastewater on St. Joseph, where he speak from. It was that audio that they were cutting and pasting, joining.
But it is not possible.
When you monitor this audio, nothing like cut and paste. It was not breaking.
You know how they get when you do cut and paste. You know when you do cut and paste, you know what you can notice it from? The other voice will sound different. The other one will sound different. They won't be high. They won't be low.
Then the other the whole thing. At the end of the day, I think you have to put on the pen because it's very ashamed that audio leak. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That Prince Johnson read there. Hello. You coming in bad though. Your background is not good. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, and let me appreciate you. This is Andrew Moses.
Let me take this person. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
How you doing?
Yes. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I called to participate on the program.
And you are live? Go ahead now.
Yeah, I'm calling to ensure that, or to let you know that...
What's your name?
Charles J2. I'm calling from the Plainfield community.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, my support is for Darwin E. Banya to call me dead.
You said what?
Hello?
Mommy, you talking anything Korea, man? Let me take another person. Hello? Good evening, sir.
How you doing?
Go ahead.
Jeff Randall.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the show. What on this opinion or from a journalistic standpoint, even if you're in the newsroom, you can merge audio by cutting and pasting. So this audio,
listen, even you in the news, let me say something. Even you in the newsroom, you can cut and paste or whatsoever, right? But you don't have the same quality of a voice if you want to cut this one from another, recording to another one. I know about Adobe, my man. You can.
Mm-hmm. I know you are tolerant to let me do so. If a person is via telephone, if you are doing cutting and pasting, there will be no difference. So,
hello, come get this word. I will not let you to go on that route because what you're talking about, no of it. You said what? If the person is what?
I know you be very tolerant to let me.
Hello, I mean, don't be telling me if I'll be tolerant. We're not talking about tolerant issue here. So listen to me. When I'm asking you, you answer me. Don't make it to look like to say you should tell me what I should do. I'm asking you. You say if a phone is what?
If a person is speaking via telephone,
mm-hmm.
I mean, I can stay where I talk good about you, and I can go call another person and talk bad about it, and you can merge this simple sharing. I'm thinking.
This is the mistake you are making. This is the mistake you're making. Let me tell you what you're talking about. Let me tell you what you're talking about. You can edit an audio when you have a straight conversation about that particular audio. Maybe the person says something. Hello, wait. Let me educate you on this.
I'm speaking from an informed background.
Okay, so you mean that I'm not speaking from an informed background? No, but I don't want you to lay because it doesn't make sense. I want to say how it works because I know about what you're saying.
I think it would be very good if you allow me to learn and pray. Just leave the line. So you can make a correction on that. I'm saying that recording for a journalistic point or point, you can hear clearly here the jump in all that adopted recording that was done by some folks for the opposition to the Unity Party. So that audio is cut and paste, is not correct, and for a journalistic standpoint, you can merge a person's name.
Thank you very much. You keep saying one thing over and again. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for having me. My name is Robert Political Slada Ibrahim. Two cherry while the two are doing the most of our country of the UV office. Let me appreciate you for your knowledge and the grace of weak orders. I see the reactionary elements coming on saying that they are fake audio. Preaching the thing, essential You know, it's very bad in politics. The guys are living sexually, are pretending, living in pretense. Pre-chosen is angry. Pre-chosen know the actual nature of the coup. The coup is a man who is so greedy, and pre-chosen goes to any negotiation, goes with what his interest. So the both of them cannot bear this accountable friendship. You see, the guys, the reason why you see the CPP go down home, because the CPP, the essence of the CPP.
Thank you very much. Let me take another person here. Hello.
Sekou.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Thank you. My name is Joseph Romo from Mambakri. We say good evening to you and to your many listeners.
Yeah, Joseph.
Sekou, look, you are a journalist and you know how things work. Me, I agree that force is the honorable man force. But the name that was mentioned on that recording, look, I can clearly tell you that force was played at the time Senator Johnson was asked on Spoon Talk that night, and almost 2 months ago. And let me tell you something.
So listen, your point here is someone took another voice on here and took another voice on so and
let me tell you, at the time they asked Senator Johnson,
I ask
how
you simple question.
The name was attached to that recording.
So I'm asking you, you mean that it took...
Let me just tell you the whole story.
I don't want the whole story. No time. I'm asking you.
Yeah, no time. Let me just
you mean that they took recording from here and put it here?
The name.
Remember, answer the question.
Yeah, listen.
But answer now.
Recording. There was a recording added on it. They play with a recording.
My man.
Yeah.
I beg you. Are you saying that they took the recording 2 or 3 different recordings and added them together? Is what you say?
I'm telling you, the recording that you're playing, it was not pronounced by Pre Johnson in Afghan and man by Senator Kuhn, but it was. You don't believe then, but
who told you say it is Kuhn voice who playing? Who said Senator Prince Johnson?
Yeah, he said it is Senator Prince Johnson, but the individual that Senator Johnson was talking about, it was not Jeremiah Kuhn. This is where you guys are playing every other tactics to make it.
So you mean? Hello, sir. Let me ask you now. Let me ask you. So you mean that all the other things he talked about, they were all true? So they just told Jeremiah Kuhn voice and they added that. What you mean, eh?
My man, you know how Senator Johnson is. You know how Senator, even when Senator Akami, please, when Senator Johnson was not supporting President Weah then, he talked a lot of things about the man. And you know Senator Johnson can talk things.
Thank you very much. Let me take another person. Our guest will be here shortly, Councillor Kaino Bagbala, and that program will be relayed on 2 different community radio stations in the country. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Sekou, you see, the problem more people have with you is that your own talk show is always controversy.
Yeah, but I want to.
You bring issues and that will not describe what somebody want to propose, you will always corner all you.
I let the way you say, Gerard, you say, my own thing can be good.
This is not fair enough. It's not fair enough to who can listen.
No, we're not unfair player. Go ahead, let's hear you.
No, we're not unfair play, but then you're not fair to the audience. Then who listen?
You're live. You are live now. You are live. Go ahead. You will be the most fair chairman for the show.
Somebody want to do when you want to say something. You will all the talk
you taking all your time,
in this country, yeah.
You taking your time,
in the country, yeah. We always given the time and the chance to bring our idea up. When you will be talking, and then
all the thing you doing now, your time you taking, so I can't cut you off. Your time.
No, we got to agree to disagree.
Go ahead now. Go ahead to the point. All that time you not talk now, I call you off, and then you say, "Oh, I call you off," because if you need to say,
you call me, I don't want to say that. That's all. I don't want to say.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. I'm the host of the show. Good evening. Yes, good evening. Let's hear you.
So when they argue, but you need to see what your mind will go to election. They may so out of power. So when you get you see what all your mind go about happening. Then I get poor chairman, corner up.
Good evening.
Yeah, good Good evening, Sekou.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
My name is Chief S. Moro.
Mm-hmm.
Sekou, let me say thank you for the turbulent discussion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sekou, this country here, we will keep everything straight in this country. This voice, the speech was involved.
That he was.
If you go to the spoon there where they show that 200 minutes are going to say now, they do the comparison. At the time, preach was hosting on spoon there where Jeremiah was not vice president to Joseph Boga at that time.
Not at all.
You are not vice president. I don't know how to want to get this money and the store plans or thing. They may not vice president to Boga when they hosted it. If you play that audio, he never mentioned anything about Jeremiah. He wouldn't talk about Senator Laurie at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But not this guy when they made this concept when the vice money to Boga. This is a new audio. So no need to do comparison with the spoon there where show comparing with the front. There's Prince Johnson for the place that making Prince Johnson angry is because you know the party now has decided to carry Kennedy in a flat district and he have put the Kennedy contesting.
Oh yeah, they know Prince Johnson.
Yeah, of course I'm asking him again the point there from my could want to get the minute. Now everybody probably in the district should contest again in Kennedy there. So when it's making Prince Johnson angry the same thing you're talking about, now the Prince Johnson also I think you know when you go FM when we saw what's there, we decided to call for him to come and get out there, you know, go around and he said you're just the show. Why you don't come out and get a currency again? He went there and made it go, we offered it for, you know, all kind of safety he said it this morning.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me take this person here. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Go ahead, you're live.
Thank you. I'm pointing for District 6. And this is the voice of Lawson Augustine sagacious wisdom. You know, Sekou, when people are anxious for power, it's not a bad thing because that is your constitutional right to be anxious for power. Now, I don't want to electoralize Senator Johnson's statement. I think that identical audio, for all indications, is Spring Johnson. We know Spring Johnson how he speaks. You know,
the man has said one thing and more than anyone.
For me, I'm from the Unipati ankle. I support Unipati from my heart. For that identical voice is Spring Johnson's voice. So I don't want people coming here to justify anything. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, right here. Okay, let me take this person here. Hello. Let me take this caller. This person. Good evening.
Good evening, Uncle Sekou.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Sana Junior, the Secretary of Energy Freeway.
Yeah, let's hear you, my brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, of course, I said the Shuram Panauna, yeah, to have added and see the goodness of this government, who are feeding the goodness of this government. So now you have to thank you.
Thank you. Let me take this person. My guest is already here. Good evening.
Good evening, Sekou.
Good evening. Let's hear you.
Thank you. My name is Steve Patrick Peeway. I joined you this evening from Shokland. Let me say good evening to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sekou, if I'm allowed to ask, I want to ask.
No, you're not asking here. You're speaking to the issue. Where you got that question?
The issue here is the recording that you're playing for me. I want to know the date and on which event President Mr. Prince Johnson spoke against Jeremiah Kuhn after he was picked as running mate to Joseph Boakai. Look, Sekou, Liberians will not be carried away by this. And in fact, that recording, I've been playing Nimba, and the poor Nimba already make their decision, they already conclude that recording.
What do people say?
Let me just remind you.
No, you're not reminding me. Okay, let me take another person. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Sekou.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Benedict Zhao, and I call you from Central River.
Mm-hmm.
Let me appreciate you for the show. Thank you for being in the middle. You're the middleman when it comes to the journalistic working in this country. So I much appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
These guys who are disproofing the audio and saying that it's lying because people say it's lie, so it's lie. Let's be reminded the old man can never be taken as a credible individual. The man say it's more is not Bible.
Yeah.
If someone tells you say they are more is not Bible, what the man is not capable of doing? Let them be joking. As you said, the old man was so much salt.
I tell you.
And in the end, do put a hand right here and start causing my car because you should happen.
Yeah.
Today, they cause star, they cause it teller, and Prince Johnson will be the later person on the blood will soon start causing your man. Prince Johnson will leave the people because the people they are not prepared. The people they are ill prepared,
And a lot of people are seeing the reality. They can lead an objective young president for a deaf network. That is impossible.
Thank you very much. Let me take this person here. 4 more minutes to go. We have our guests here already. Let me take this person. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sherry. How are you?
Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Thank you so kindly, my brother, for the show. My name is Frank Dickens, and I'm joining from my residency district 12.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Sherry, I would like to say this to you. As for me, let's agree. Like you want people to do, to agree with you. As for me, I would like to agree with you to say yes, indeed, bring those in setting. Bring those in that.
Yeah.
Even about Mr. himself, before becoming president of this country, if we did that, when Georgia was going to become president, then there was going to be war. Even at the time when he went to Georgia was wrong. He was so confused.
Nala, we can't allow that on this radio. Hello. Hello.
How you doing, Sego?
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, my name is
Mm-hmm.
So after that, what prison say about China? So what prison say about president? We are should we consider that too?
You said what?
And I said let's agree that president was the one who said that in that audio, right? Let's agree that he said it. So the thing he said about president.
So what? Listen to me. You see some of the things about you people. What about that audio that you want to connect the president about? Did he mention the president? I'm asking you. Hello.
Hello, Segu.
Breaks on. Yeah, go ahead.
My name is Adam Smith, and I fought from rehab community from Highway.
Go ahead.
People who always say you don't mind people, you don't listen, but what would listen to them with mind and it's stick that in your brain, you different brain. You have to be.
I know.
If someone says they are stupid, they you're stupid. Your own is using your way to justice and justice. They are who prejudice is. Prejudice is an immense business. People, where they want to know what they sort of want.
Yeah. You men are causing people for the president. I know. I beg you.
The man will say something on yes, the journalist kind of put him on his track. Then we'll go and start fighting, but we just see. They know who we just see.
Yeah, lead him.
They want kind of power to
Thank you, my brother. The last call, then we go take a break to go to our guests. Good evening.
Yeah, Mr. Terry, I'm still the line.
Shit, I need to take another person. Hello.
Segu.
Good evening. You are the last caller.
Yeah, Segu. Yeah, you were the one who called public school to him.
Okay, I didn't get what you're saying. Okay, I'm not taking calls again. Let me move ahead. Let's take a break. To usher in our guests, Councillor Kaino Bagbala. But I think for this discussion today is it's a political discussion, so they may not bring in a legal thing here today. My name is Sekou Sharif. Okay, thank you very much for rejoining us. For those of you just joining us, you're listening to the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. This is where we converge at about this time to talk about the issues that matter to our country, bringing you the newsmakers to tell you what is it you need to know about. This segment of the show is relayed on Voice of Hope in Plebo Sodican District, Maryland County, Voice of Truth in Plebo Sodican District, Maryland County, through the courtesy of Bobby Addison from the Speaker's Office. And those of the people in the Southeast going to be listening to us on this segment of the show tonight as we have as our guest Councillor Kaino Bagbala, who's one of the members of the Weird intellectual movement where they preaching the good messages of the re-elections of President George Weah, and they think that the president has done more in the 6 years he needs to be re-elected. Let me just tell you some of the areas we're going to be looking at. We will talk about the approach in, the dissemination of all necessary information for the campaign. Mind you, the National Elections Commission on Saturday of this week will be announcing the official start of campaign in the country. And we're also going to look at some other assessments that are going to be made on the various candidates which they're going to be supporting. And we want to know why is it that His Excellency George Weah should be given the second term, not just one term to lead the country. Is it that Liberia is better than before? What are some of the improvements and looking at some other issues, some of the measures the government took in terms of governing the country? Much more other issues will be discussed here tonight as our guest is already here. Can you let me say good evening to you and thank you for joining us tonight on the show.
Thank you very much, Sekou. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you. You are one of the trailblazers in the media. I know I said this to you before when you had started this particular station. I thought there was a demonstration of serious foresight because those of us who are friends to the media, even though I went silent for a while when I was at the LACC, but we still had an eye watching what was going on in the media. And when you started this place, I came here, I saw it, I was very impressed. And I think it's a good thing. So I'm happy to at least be here and honor your voice.
Okay, first of all, let me say thank you also for coming. During these times in life, most especially in Liberia, moving towards the elections, you have lots of things happening. I want to know how is the CDC?
I think, and it's a good question. Thank you very much. I think the Mighty Coalition for Democratic Change is very well placed, very organized, under very great leadership. The chairman of the party, in person of Honorable Obake Molu, as I've always said, has done a stellar job of maintaining party structure and maintaining the interests of partisans and in keeping that spirit of the undying coalition for democratic change alive. More to that, I think if you just watch what has happened over the last 1 year, we've had beyond the original members of the coalition that included the MPP as well as the LPDP. New folks have joined the party, so it tells you that the party in the coalition has grown. So to sum it up, I'll say like the CDC is alive and well, and the visionary leadership of the president continues to pervade and permeate. I mean, imagine an opposition party since 2005, now a ruling party, and still very much active and very much popular and alive with the new emerging generation. I think a lot has happened, and I think they are good things, and the CDC is alive and well.
Okay, very good. Let's move on. His Excellency President George Weah has been, governing this country for the past 5 years. Now going to the ending come October, when we Liberians will be going to elections to elect new president or other members of the House of Representatives and the Liberian Senate. I want you to give us a clear picture of the vision of the president for the next 6 years, which he wants Liberians to re-elect him.
Thank you very much, Sekou. That is a very important question. A matter of fact is that is a question that we from the ruling party have placed to those in the opposition. And quite interestingly, a lot of them have not been able to come up with serious or credible answers in that regard. I have said to anyone who will listen that in these elections, President Weah will win on his record. The fact remains that whoever are the challengers, who want to challenge the president and believe they can do better, there will be a space, and there is a space now. About August 5, when we have the open air campaign, let us examine your record on health, on education, on infrastructure, and let us examine the president's record, both present and historical, because it's not only about now, it's about before. What did you do before, so we understand whether you are capable. Now, you asked about the president's vision
for the next 6 years.
For the next 6 years. Based on what this president has done in these 5 years under very challenging and strenuous conditions, the 6 years that are coming, because we know we're winning the first round, this is going to be a first round victory.
It is what that sounds very unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is not something that will come to actuality where you say Liberia as a country goes to election and you have first round victory.
Yes, because you've never had a phenomenal leader like President Weah, who has delivered and over-delivered on his promises to the people. We don't have a first round.
Issue.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Okay, sorry. So I digress. Now, the vision is about the consolidation of what has happened over the last 5 years. For example, we've made education a pinnacle of our public policy in the first term. That's why we made public education free at the universities across the nation. And even though you say we shouldn't have the conversation about first round, but when you declare public education to be free at the University of Liberia, at Tubman University, at the Nimba Community College, amongst other, it is still in. This is a presidential policy decision. No one can really off otherwise until the president decides that we're taking it back. These are the counties that are going to vote. These are the people that are going to vote.
But it has not been legislated where it is a law.
Not as yet. And that is why we're going to give the president a resounding first round victory so that in his second term, we are going to legislate these policies.
Okay.
So that people across this country know that electing President Weah means that you get a law that ensures that education at tertiary institutions in our country is guaranteed to be free, tuition free, by law. They know that. Now, so back to the vision. We want to consolidate on what we've done for education. We want to consolidate on what we've done for the healthcare center. In mere 3 years, and you will probably think, say like, okay, why are you saying 3 years? I'm saying 3 years because when you subtract the years that COVID stole from this president, 2 years of which the global economy was pretty much in a meltdown. 2 years where a lot of the things in this country had ground to a halt because of the economic meltdown that was happening over the country. In spite of that, in healthcare, President, we have built 3 major referral hospitals in this country. Even if not coming to JFK, but almost close to JFK. I was just informed the other day by somebody in the healthcare sector that they had just performed a cesarean section at the 14th Military Hospital. That same hospital that
were they done by foreigners or Liberians?
Even if it were done by foreigners, which I can ascertain, it tells you that the president has the ability to attract skilled doctors, healthcare professionals to our country. That is a plus for our country. Some of the folks who were around when we were not, very active or even not born will tell you that JFK used to be a hub for foreign doctors. Why are they not here than before? So if we have them at 14 Military, if we have them at Bapolu at the Emirates Hospital, far off in the Western region, if we have them in Riverside where they are, then it tells you that we are decentralizing health. That is what we've done for health. Those are the visions to consolidate in the second term.
Okay.
What have we done for infrastructure? Same thing. We want to consolidate. Look, today I was surprised.
Before you go ahead, is it what the government or the president has done that he wants to continue to do, or there are new things that he wants to do for the country?
Now, public policy requires establishing a basis, right? Now, in any macroeconomic setting, there are core areas that will never change. So when you talk about something different, you probably mean that we're shifting a bit of focus, but the thematic areas will not change. Any country that has developed, if you study development studies, study literature around development studies, right? They have maybe about 5 areas or 4 areas. It's around health, it's around education, it's around infrastructure, it's about manpower development, it's around roads, it's about education. All of those things don't change. The approaches we deploy towards achieving those goals are what can differ from country to country. Now, in the second term, the president will consolidate these gains. That's why the question you asked me, what's the vision for the second term? And we will shortly be unleashing our manifesto. We'll publish it.
For the
Not that paper thing they write on a sheet of paper, they say that they call it a rest and they list 5 lines on it and they call it. No. We're going to be releasing a very
we will reach to a point where
manifesto.
you gave us your thoughts about the opposition. Let's look at the government and what are some of the things that the government wants to do that she's telling the people. President, we should be re-elected. You talk about 3 things.
Yes.
Education, health, and infrastructure.
Yes.
What next?
Now, so there's education, there's health, there's infrastructure, and I was beginning to explain about what we've done and how we will consolidate on infrastructure. I've said this before, and I don't miss an opportunity to say it. So I will use your station at risk of being redundant to say it again. That we have built more roads in 5 years than they ever built in 12 years. And the records are there. That's what I'm about to give you. It's important for the Liberian people to realize that when we call President, we are the barrow medicine. We don't call it because it's idolatry. We call it because it's practical developmentalism. Things that he has done, exemplified, supported by the facts, and the facts are there. We inherited 745 kilometers of roads in this country from the failed Unity Party over 12 years. That 745 kilometers was not just what they built. 1847, we had some roads around until 2003, even though we fought and we destroyed this country. And, multi-party democracy came back around 2005 when President Sterling was elected. There were some roads around it. So we gave them credit. Just add that to your portfolio and say, we gave you 745. We took over. As we speak today, as we speak, based on the evidence, there is approximately about 1,350 kilometers of road that are actualized under this government. Meaning, the president has constructed in excess of 500 kilometers of roads in under 6 years. And the records are there.
And that was being contested when we had the interview with the finance minister at the time at ELBC, which was being relayed on all the radio stations. And that was being contested to a point where they say that information is now factual.
Who contested it? On what basis? You see, when we do research, and that's why I take my time whenever I make assertions, especially those that involve, numerical issues, I advise people, I say, fact check me. Interestingly, of late, I don't know what has been happening, but I've had like a number of people attempting to, as a serious, I will share with you, Sekou, when we leave the show. I made 3-4 assertions when I appeared on OKFM. It's appeared that they have sound somebody to me now. Now, everything they say, go and check it so that we can embarrass him. But the fact of the matter with me, almost everything I will say, unless it is a slip of tongue or a gap, is supported by facts. I have said, go look at the literature. It's very easy to find. The UN has a whole portal that looks at road access in the country. I have studied that. We knew by the time we took over how many kilometers of road existed here. We know now what exists. It's a simple question of doing the math. And we've done the math. All right? Look, I drove today. I was going outside of the city, going towards Caldwell. And I drove through the Doe community angle. In fact, I traveled first, branched off through Doe community, went around, came out on the Japanese freeway now, as we call it, went ahead for a little bit, then took off on St. Michael Junction.
Use the Dixville area.
Exactly. Went down into Dixville and then got to Cowell, got on the bridge. Very surprised because I haven't been there for a very long time that this bridge is now paved. It continued going down that road.
No, that I can serve as witness to that.
All that road they paved today never happened before. So when we tell people that we paved over 100 kilometers of road under this government.
When you to put them in categories, are you talking about major roads or some of the community roads?
Now, who determines? You see, sometimes when the people want to question development, they question it from a point of arrogance. Who determines what is major and what is minor, and to whom is it major and to whom is it minor? If I live in those community in Monserrato County, a road paved there, no matter what you think about it, is major. Just because you get a place in Cinco and what important to you, so it's paved, you consider that to be major? It's a question about lives that you're touching. Look at population. The experts argue that development should follow the population of people. What's the point of developing an area if the population are absent from that area and they don't benefit? Monserrato by far is the largest gathering of Liberians in this country. So when you pave community roads, as you call it, and they say it's not important to them, but everyone comes, they gravitate to Monserrato County. You are improving the lives of those people. Take, for example, I was in Oro the other day again. Chupa Road paved. And what I normally use Chupa to illustrate is the fact that Chupa people used to say back in the day, road can never reach all the way down. Because they say they got people that who get medicine, so they will never allow road to reach to that place because they don't want the medicine.
That's a native
Well, we got to buy road medicine. So the man said, the president said, that road will go there. And road is there today because of him. Are you saying the Chupa road that was constructed by this government is not major? That the people of Chupa don't matter? Look, such arrogance. The fact remains we have paved more roads in 5 years
maybe some
than
of
they paved in 12 years.
maybe some of the statistics of which you're using, focusing on the minor community roads, are not what they are seen as, roads that are being constructed by the government. They thought or will be thinking that you should have a major road around where you were talking about maybe Ganta to Bon County, something of such, from Bon County
Well,
to Lofa.
again, I'll register my disagreement with the thinking that certain areas are more important than others, especially when you have the population.
So you think
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example on what you raised that we've done. And it will further illustrate why we are doing better than they ever did in 12 years. Right? Now, the whole idea that other places are better. Monserrato County is a melting pot. There is no ethnic group, no regional group that does not have a representation in Monserrato County. When you improve conditions in Monserrato County, you are improving it for the whole of the country. People leave and migrate to Monserrato from all over the country, seeking opportunities. This is the capital county that hosts the capital city. So when you build a road in a community that has over, for example, Oro, you have in excess of 60,000 persons. You're improving their lives. You're saving lives. Monserrato, you know how many accidents have decreased on motorbikes as a result of paved roads in communities in Monserrato County? If you go to JFK and get the statistics, you are improving lives, but they want to play it down. Now let's talk about, you say, okay, the so-called important roads. What are the so-called important roads? They came to power, they signed an agreement with Axolotl Mita. In that agreement, that provided that they will pave the Sanikwele Road, I think in about what, 2013, they did not pave that road. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, nothing on that road. It took President Weah to come to power in 2017, after in 2018. Afterwards, renegotiate the deal with Axolotl and impress upon them about the construction of that road. Now, as we speak, we are completing the Sanikwele Road. And then you know what they say? They had a blueprint. So they brought the funding. They always say that these experts in blueprintism, that everything you talk about regarding development, they say, we developed the blueprint. So what are we doing? What is the president's vision for the next 6 years? It is about consolidating and entrenching what he has demonstrated over these 5 years. It's about saying education is a priority. It's not going to be messy no more. We just got the result from WAPSI, from students who took it in 9th grade. I'm sure you followed. How the Liberians fare exceedingly well under this president is because of the investments we made in education, by improving teachers' livelihood, by improving the University of Liberia, by bringing school feeding back into the schools, by bringing more students into the schools as well.
Now, when you talk about some of the good things the government has done, your critics would think that one of the things that the government did not do well is about the harmonization, where they think, some other, steps that were taken did not go at a point to help the process, but instead harm the process. What have you to say about such?
Well, I will say this, and Liberia is so blessed, and I say this without any element of flattery, to have President Weah as president. Because the Liberian people, at the time President Weah became president, he was and still is the most loved and popular politician in the country. And therefore, because of that, he could take hard decisions in the interest of the country and suffer the political consequences and still remain a viable political candidate in the public sphere up to today's date. Any other political actor who would have embarked upon such revolutionary but very positive changes may not have survived it. The CDC lost elections in Monserrato on account of some of these things, not knowing that we were paving the road to the kind of economic stability we have now, while Ghana and others are now running back to the IMF as we speak. We made hard decisions. Now, what is harmonization? That's the question we should be asking. What really is harmonization? And when they talk about harmonization, who are the people being affected? How are they affected? And let's examine that. Number one, when we came to power, we met the civil services around close to 70,000 persons. That's what President we have met there. That number has now increased more than 15,000 President we have been president over the last 5 years. But what did we meet in the civil service that necessitated harmonization? Was harmonization just about President we are saying, I met all of these people here, so I want to reduce their pay? But did he hate them? No. What became was that we have created a system for incentivizing people for doing things that did not require the level of incentivization they were getting. So people were at certain levels making money in positions that they should not be making for the skills they had and for the experience they had and the level of work they were doing. That's what harmonization is all about.
So, but that was mostly
when you harmonize. Let me tell you something.
That was mostly on ministers, some directors.
No, at all levels.
Why did you go way down?
Do you know there were people who made more than ministers? They were not ministers. They were called technical focal points. They were called consultants. They were called all manner of names. Some of them were not even appointed officials. They made 6,000-7,000. I am telling you this. Go and check it. It was there. We came to government, disparity in income. Why with a state-owned enterprise? All state-owned enterprises should be created equal, right? You do a particular level of job when you lead a state-owned enterprise. Why with a particular MD made 5,000 and another MD made 8,000? What extra level of effort will you bring in? Because in the NGO environment where I come from, where I spent almost 14 years before coming to government, that's how we describe what you put in order to what you get out. Why will you make 8,000 and another person make 4,000? Why must a driver administration of finance make 200 and a driver administration of commerce make 800? Who determines that? What extra you driving a supercar? So harmonization was simply about saying, let's harmonize. Let's bring on par everything that everyone in a particular category with a particular skill level deploying similar skills and effort in work.
But why didn't you take the much better number and instead reduce the salaries?
We did that. Look, I was harmonized, right? I was appointed to the LCC.
So people are making 1,000 now; they're making 500, 600.
If they came to 500, 600, because they realized that the level of effort was more reflective of 500. Seku, in this studio, in this place where you were, everybody don't make the same money. Because everyone's level of effort, a time invested as a CEO here, you run this entity. Not only are you on the radio, But when you get off the radio, you're wondering, how do we get money to pay these people? What kind of programs do I employ? How do I build the profile here? You make more money because you put in a lot more. We can be paying people, for example, if a driver makes 1,000 in a ministry and you have somebody who's in another ministry, it's a typist or it's a clerical person making 300, what do you see? I'm not saying drivers are unimportant. I'm saying there has to be a particular level. The difference between us and them is that when they came to power, they did not harmonize. You know what they did? They downsized. Do you remember that? When they downsized, they sacked people. The right size, that the other word they came with too. Right size meaning they play too big. They're not the right, they're not the right size. So we reduce the people. They downsize and right size and sack people and took people from jobs. We did no such thing. What we did was to employ an egalitarian approach, equitable approach, to say if you are at that level, other people are at that level. Let's match it. If you're doing a certain level of work, the same person doing it anywhere else they're doing it, whether in Lofa County, whether in Nimba County, whether in Grand Junior County, any county you come from, if you are a driver at this level, make the same money because you are doing the same work. Okay. Now, 1 second, let me conclude on that before you move on. You know why we receive this resistance? Because the educated elite are powerful. When you have 65,000 people in the public service who are the so-called educated elites and are the ones making this money that to some extent is unjustified because the level of effort is not the same, right? So when you come and say, cut it, even if there's no argument. My predecessor at the LSCC before I resigned made more money than I made when I went there. It was an effect of president. We are saying we'll reduce salary.
Okay, now let's come back to the campaign issue because you have people running around in a very shortest possible time where you say you do this, we want you to vote for. What is the strategies? I know you won't want to disclose it in terms of reaching out. Now I'm speaking and asking you out of experience. I can remember in 2017 when CDC went to the elections, there were no, control in terms of no one you could speak to as to what one should do in terms of what information should come out and how it should come out and how things were to be handled. What is it this time around that the government that you support, calling on Liberians for the president re-elections, will do? Because anything you do this time around could either help or damage your process.
Thank you very much, Siko. Look, we are running a very responsible campaign. Matter of fact, we have demonstrated as a political institution that we are probably the most democratic political institution within the Republic of Liberia. I'm surprised that we are not getting the plaudits, the commendations as a result of what we've done. We are the only political party that have primaries all across the counties in Liberia and determine who will represent us in these upcoming elections. No other party did so. No one said anything about that. It's a demonstration of our democratic credentials. We've announced a broad-based representative campaign team, region, tribes, locales, counties, all represented on that team. Look at our closest rivals or any other people who are involved. Have they done any such thing? No. We've announced the biggest campaign team so far that has engulfed every county in terms of representation. Under the leadership of Honorable Len Eugene Nambe, who is National Campaign Manager. And that's why they thought they were going to foment discord in the party. Say, oh, there's a mistake regarding who leads. No, there's been no mistake. Yesterday, we convened the first meeting of the National Campaign Team at the headquarters of the campaign, which is separate.
Where is your headquarters of the campaign?
You know, the People Liberation Party is a collaborating party of the Coalition for Democratic Change, as you may know. We are currently housed in the PRP headquarters. That is where the campaign headquarters stays, opposite the YWCA now. Yesterday, we convened the National Campaign Team of all those that were named from the different constituent parties, from the different counties. They congregated there. At that
My
meeting,
question to you, can you is
yes,
the problem and what I have experienced
yeah.
with CDC in terms of elections or something else, there's no proper coordination, and we're moving towards elections. How is it going to be coordinated to have either the rightful message out? You don't have everyone speaking. Anyone will just walk out and say anything they want to say. At the end of the day, you say some unfunny things.
Well, you cite your experience, which I'm not privy to. I can speak about what I know that is happening now. So let's speak about what I know.
Yeah.
I do know structure-wise, and this is not up for debate because that is the case, right? The Honorable Eugene Ambe is National Campaign Manager. I said to you that yesterday we convened the National Campaign team as announced by the chairperson of our mighty party, in person Honorable Mobake Malu, yesterday. All members of the campaign team convened at the campaign headquarters. In that meeting, the Secretary General of the campaign team, Honorable Jefferson Kuchi, who's Lord Mayor of the city of Monrovia, was there. And he made particular remarks as to how we are going to coordinate our campaign and what was important. We concluded that meeting. After that meeting, Honorable Nambe and Honorable Koji proceeded to the headquarters of the Mighty Coalition for Democratic Change to engage with another meeting of all of our national auxiliaries across the country.
What were some of the things agreed on? Is it that you people have agreed that no one will just speak because they want to speak, or is it going to be an open box where John Brown, Peter Paul will say anything they want to say?
But you see, you do a little bit of injustice, Eku.
Why?
When you insinuate that we just speak when no one is supposed to speak, that there's no structure for speaking, because
That's what I'm asking you.
there's an embedded insinuation. I know no such thing. I know that the party has a structure. I know that the campaign has evolved a structure. That structure is represent. Look, when the party and the government goes into campaign, a particular team is constructed for that purpose.
Okay.
That team embodies people from the party who are fully involved with the administration of the campaign.
Okay, this program is really on Voice of Hope in Plebo, Sonican District, Maryland County, Voice of Truth in Plebo, Sonican District, Maryland County, through the courtesy of Bobby Addison there in the Speaker's office. Before we go, there's this thing I want to ask you, and I want you to be honest. Moving to the elections, you should know the strengths and the weaknesses of your opponent at times. What assessment the CDC has been able to carry out to understand those of the people you are going against?
Thank you, Sekou. I'll say this personally, right? When we started this conversation, probably as a peripheral comment, I said that the CDC and President Weah will win in the first round on his record.
From the presidential, all your candidates, representatives, senators.
I'm saying primarily, and I speak as national spokesman for the campaign for the re-election of the president. My primary concern is the re-election of the president. When I go to bed, I'm thinking about the re-election of the president.
So what about
when I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking about the re-election of the president. I am not saying that senators are not important or representatives are not important. But what is most important to me and occupies my time when I engage is the re-election of the president.
Okay.
Now, let me say this. You talk about their weaknesses, right? In order to illuminate their weaknesses, I must start from our strength. Our strength is that President Weah will win these elections by a wide margin on his record. And their weakness is they have no records. I can tell you our easiest competitors. We can line up. You just quiz me about education. We can start on education and we look at our our closest competitors. They have no records on education. If we can start on healthcare and we look at our closest competitors, the other one 42 years in government, the other one running around for Coca-Cola abroad, all of them, they ain't got no record on healthcare. We can look at infrastructure and ask them their record. Again, President Weah has more records. And you see, I'm talking about both historical record and current record. I'm not saying just on election, because some of them, the only record they got an election record. But for those who have 42 years, There's still no record that they can show. So clearly, we say to them, look, if you look at the national leader, there's no leader of this country whose policies has touched the vast majority of its citizens in the vast majority across the 15 counties, other than the President we are. The United Party cannot boast in their candidate of a record. In fact, if I were to subject it to phonological analysis, it's definitely United Party. Somebody say to me, I'm a backer. Somebody say, hey, you know, when you back, you're not a participant. So even if there was some kind of record for United Party, that means you're not part of that record. Because you say, I was observing, I wasn't a part. So there's even no record to speak about. The other person who wants to succeed us has a foreign record somewhere. They say to us, I used to be working abroad. And when I was abroad, I achieved all of these things. So we ask you, okay, yeah, we agree. You're fine, man. You did these things abroad. What have you done here in Liberia? In Maryland County, where you come from? What have you done there? Look, they think, you know, show us what have you done in Maryland County? Senior corporate executive and all of that. Show us Maryland County. What's the impact?
This is what
Look,
they
even let's ask again. Lower County, 42 years in government. 12 of those years at the helm, second in command of the country.
Now,
Head of the
Walker
Senate. What have you done?
recently had an engagement with some Liberians in the United States, and he branded the airport as a very terrible area where people luggages are most often they're missing, and
Who did
also
so?
he talked about the leadership is what that is creating poverty for the Liberian people, Ambassador Walker.
Look, the policies of President Weah are so, and the impact I speak, are so multi-dimensional in nature that they are lifting people out of poverty every day. And I can demonstrate that by example, right? Take an example. I use this all the time. And I don't fear using it because it's a demonstration of what a certain policy decision can do for a country. Take the Invincible Park, for example, right? I'm not looking at it as an infrastructure project because it is an infrastructure project. I'm not looking at it as a recreation project because it is a recreation project. I'm not looking at it as a sports project because we all know it's a sports project. You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at it as a drug alleviation project. In this country, you know that you know how many of our children used to go on Super Fridays? You know why they went on Super Fridays? Because they had nowhere to entertain themselves. So they would sit on the beaches and go take drugs, hang out there, and eventually become hooked. President Weah, when he started the Invincible Park, there were those who said, oh, the plane will fall over the park. That plane, one plane gave me there after 1 week, 2 months. They said the plane will fall over the park. President Weah was clear that we needed an avenue to track young people to responsible recreation. Now you have every other day. I'm sure you've been there, Sekou. There's no given day in Monserrado County you go to that park that people are not there. You know what he has done? He has offered a pathway to deal with the drug problem. In addition to signing the very first law in the history of this country that brought on draconian consequences for those who peddle drugs in our society. Since 1847, he's the one who signed this new law into office. And people want to raise issues about poverty. When you deal with the issue of multidimensional poverty, you deal with policies that attack the basis for poverty. For example, when he made the UF free, they just make it, oh, yeah, UF free, so the conditions not good. But analyze it in terms of poverty alleviation. What have you done? I know a lot of people who left high school and ride motorbikes because they can't afford to go take that money just to pay tuition to LU. You know that? By declaring it free, you're giving that motorbike rider a choice. It's not about spending money now. It's about whether you want to go to school or you want to continue to ride a motorbike. If you go to school, you get a skill. If you get a skill, you improve your chances for getting out of poverty. That's what President Weah has done.
There were a lot of promises made by the president he wanted to become the president of this country. Do you think the government has lived up to the many promises he made to the people of Liberia? One among the many promises where he said Liberians will not be spectators to their own economy. Is it working?
I think so. I think it is working.
Why can you say it is, or you think so? It is working. What's the clear understanding that this thing is really working?
First, let's unpack what it means to be a spectator to your economy,
Mm.
right? There are several levels at which you can spectate or you can watch what goes on with your economy, right? Firstly, at the top level, it's about the business and the entrepreneurs, those who are actually doing business and engaged in business endeavors.
Big businesses, and
Big
all of that.
businesses, establishing businesses,
Yeah.
etc. Right? Now, in entrepreneurship, we say that four things are involved. You know, you bring capital, you take the risk, you put in your time, and you get the dividend. Like you have done. I mean, you're a media man, but you're a businessman. You're an entrepreneur. Why do you have this station running? It's because you took risk and you put in time and you raise the station. There are a number of Liberian people who are also taking that risk. So the first level of saying there isn't supposed to be spectators is to say at the business level, we'll give you access. The Ministry of Commerce, I know they give me a new $30 million program. The difference is nobody will hold your hand and say, go and take the loan.
And this
and
is one of the problems
conceptualization.
many people have said. Liberians have continued to complain about this. The government is having a good intention, meaning the president, but it is not reaching down to the common people where you listen to this amount of $1 million has been signed for local businesses, smaller businesses, and everything. But the owners of these smaller businesses, they don't receive the money.
Why don't they receive this money?
You should be
I
giving
know
us.
that $3 million a piece went across this country to the various markets.
Can you boast that people receive it?
Absolutely. You know why they did that? Because we understand that there are different classes of businesses. That in Liberia, there's a formal and there's the informal sector. And for the most part, the informal sector is a huge sector. So while Ministry of Commerce will deal with the big sector and announce those portfolios because, again, our partners who support will require certain things. If you went to take a loan from a bank to say who own your business, you will require certain documentation, collateralization to get it. The woman who stays in the market at Omega, the loans we gave her, we ain't asked her to rent no loan, business plan or proposal. President, we are authorized and it went around $3 million across major markets, all the 50
I'm yet to get that. Who are those that receive this money?
Well, I can tell you that I'm aware that this.
You need to make the Minister of Commerce on this to come on the radio and tell the people.
Well, we will reach out to her. The thing is about her work is that the commerce people they say they're working.
What you call working? What you call working? What you get to us on the? Once you get to all what's happening at the place there.
Well, my brother, you reach out to her. But I tell you what I know.
Accessible. She's not accessible.
I can speak to that.
She's not me here, friend.
I can speak to that.
Okay. Okay, you're listening to the program Issues of Today on Voice of Liberia 104.1. My guest is Kano Bagbala. He's the official spokesperson for the CDC campaign team. He's my guest today. We're talking about lots of issues here on the program. This program is being relayed on Voice of Hope in People Solican District, Maryland County, Voice of Truth in People Solican District, Maryland County. I'm told Voice of Hope covers Grand Coup, River G, and that of Maryland as well. So it tells you how the people from the Southeast are listening. Let me ask you this question before we go to the lines.
Yes.
Citizens of the Southeast will be angry with the president, saying that much more has not been done for the people of Southeast. Looking at the roads, looking at some other issues, what will be the message from you people to the people in Southeast?
Thank you. You know what I'll tell you? It demonstrates to the people of Liberia, number one, that President Weah is a president for all. There were previous leaders who came to this power place, came to this country, and they practice what I call cronyism. They practice regionalism. They practice nepotism. The benefits of leadership were directed to those who were related to them and those who were close to them. President is not one of them.
Is that
Do you know why?
for not
Do
doing
you
what
know
you do?
why the Southeast is where it is today? It's because we are far removed, and I say we because I also come from the Southeast. I come from Granted County. We are far removed from the capital. And previous people did not invest in the preliminary infrastructure to bring on stream with the rest of the country. President Weah has done that investment in the first term. Now, his policies have touched the Southeast. It is only the infrastructure level of the connection of roads that now need to happen. For example, when you pay waxing fees for 6 years for all high school students across this country, $20 million for thousands of high school students all across the country, you are paying for students that are in River G, that are in Grand Crew, that are in Grand Gillette, that are in Maryland. They are benefiting from what the president has decreed as policy for the whole country.
Okay.
When you pay for tertiary education, you ask a question.
Let's go to the
You ask a
lines.
question when you pay for tertiary education across the country in state-run universities, and it is free. For example, at TU and other universities, it is because the president made it to be tuition free, and they are benefiting from it.
Let's go to the
In
lines.
the second term,
Let's go to the lines. I want to announce a specific number for those of the people in the Southeast. You're going to call this number, please, because I know the two lines will be very busy. Call this number for those of you in the Southeast. Call 0770 942048. 0770-942048 is our alternative line for those of you in the Southeast, because we don't want you to find it difficult to reach and go through the lines here. 0770-942048 is the line only intended for those of you in the Southeast. For those of you in Montserrat and other parts of the area, 0770 907-907, 0770-907-907, Let me go to the Southeast line. Hello? Hello? Oh, okay, this person. Let me come back here and take this person. Good evening. Yeah, good evening. Go ahead. Please go ahead. No time.
I really appreciate you guys and talk about Bible. You remember the video, because you have the SSC, you have the analysis, you have the
Okay, thank you. Let me go. Is it a call from the Southeast? Hello?
Yes, hello, how are you?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Clinton Tawiye Wonsa, and I'm calling from Zoali City, Granger County this evening.
Okay, go ahead from Granger.
Firstly, I'm very much happy to hear the voice of my counselor, and I call him the opposition medicine for the education provided tonight. And one good thing I want to tell the opposition, Granger County is no go zone. President, we have one round victory is our anticipation. So Granger County is a no-go zone and across the country. But this is one of the impacts the president is making in the lives of we in the Southeast, most especially Granger County. The president, through the government, is constructing 160-bed hospital. Before reaching the city of Zwelu, you will see the hospital on the hill, beautiful place. Everyone see the place, you will say, God, the hospital in the bush.
Thank you.
160, and I will speak, the hospital is 98% okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me take this other person on the line here. Good evening.
Yeah, thank you, Chiku. And we say good evening to your many listening audience. Yeah, my name is Sai Kumar, one of the people defend calling from Ghana's view the afternoon. Chiku, the first thing I may appreciating based on your analysis. Chiku, you are aware that some of our students in University of Liberia, in fact, it was the first time for someone to have what you call the petrographic mango school at the University of Liberia. No situation of born minister as a student of geology. We've been here about the mango school. Under the president, we saw the mango school will bring down or do what I call a mirror analysis. And the kind of share the president went up. Okay, many times we don't know about that. in fact, as that particular engineer department at the University of Liberia, most of those engineers who been in Liberia, most of the short tests have been going there at the University of Liberia.
Thank you. Let me take another person here. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Sherry.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Check Bigger Junior again. So I just represented in District 12. You know, really, Mr. Sharif, I think you should have done. You should have protected your guys for the point which is took. Anyway, you wanted to do it for him.
What you mean I should have protected? You see that the problem I get with you, eh? You won't tell everybody what they need to do, yeah?
Okay, I come in.
Okay, what you mean I should have protected my guest?
The man talked about the diesel road.
Hello,
right?
what do you mean of me protecting my guest? Wasn't I being protected?
Come in now.
I mean, I will cut you off, man. I will cut you off. Sometimes you can get people. You kind of lines ask you, but what did the man say that you can't speak about? Hello. Good evening. Let's hear you.
Call for Grand Leader comes in, and my name is Aaron Legend.
Aaron, go ahead.
Thank you so much. I listen to our brothers. You know, it's unfortunate, and our brothers need to come back home to understand and see the living condition of our people here. It is up to Grand Leader to decide this thing. While it is true, we supported CDC fully, and we have given him the heartiest support. But the support is not given back to us. When you come here, Sheku, you will see our community college. When our brothers said in field to tell us that Southeast is directly benefiting from the president, and you have the community college that is yet to be upgraded. You have the community college that budget is below. And you have our roads and other things. Some of these things, we are facing challenges. So we don't expect Colonel Bob to say and tell people that Southeast is benefiting or Granger is benefiting. You come back home to understand the challenges we're going through.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me take this person. He will respond to that. Hello.
Hello, Seku.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Abraham Bala, and I joined the public school from the school number 10.
Bala, go ahead.
Let me first appreciate the still guest, the veteran intellectual, a president of Council of Kano Bala for his.
Please go ahead, no time.
For his excellent deliberation on national critical issues on the basis of the government performance. All what Kano Bala said, it is true, and we will support the president and will do everything possible for the president to get his re-election on the basis of the tremendous contribution to the format of our country.
Thank you. Another person here. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm the
Few seconds, please.
Yeah, the fight not the end is good, the kind of other issue, the explosives, and we show that the party will go forward. It's a woman to go for church. We are.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Let me take this person here. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, my brother. How you doing?
Good evening. Are you calling from the southeast?
Hello.
Are you calling from the southeast?
Hello.
Hello. You are live.
Thank you. This is Sam J. Kwon. I do join you from Maryland County to be Excellent People Service District, New Jerusalem.
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Thank you so much. Let me appreciate your studio that what all he said is uncool. We, the Marylanders, we will continue to give our support to President George Weah and whoever behind him. This what tell you that this government is not self-interest. We fighting for the populated area right now to be developed before their own area. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me take this other call, and those of you from the southeast. Hello. Let me see this call. Okay, let me take this person here. The calls are many though. Good evening. Yes.
And a very pleasant good evening to the council
Council Kano Daibara. I am still a council ground, a member of the We Are Intellectual Movement EMU chapter. And I must commend the council. He spoke excellently and definitely this coming October 10th election will be a one-round victory for the Mighty Coalition for Democratic Change.
Thank you. Let me take this other person here. Hello.
Good evening, Sekou.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, let me say a pleasant good evening to Councilor Barbara. Sekou, this is the voice of Jimmy M. Wallo, and I join the national conversation for District 16.
Sorry, this is not a line for that. I felt that some easier. You know, I don't want to use it. Good evening. The other line already busy. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Sherry.
Go ahead, quick.
Thank you. Check again. You know, your student just talked about the disabled, right? Which of course
Check. I cut you off because the way you did it. So I cut you off and I'll cut you off again. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sekou. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I remain the political officer of the National Restore and Defense Team, and I propose Defender Peter McCauley, the civil house for you.
Peter, a few seconds, please.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to Council in studio. But you see, we have a parable that says, don't kill people, but people kill people. So, Jordan Mobwaka and Lalo Sindodilo, Jordan Mobwaka said that the president is constructing shooting. And where the quote-unquote Chapo Lanto said the president is facing death trap. So, you know what I mean at the TV role connecting for Panama Bay and stuff? You know what kind of economy is booming on our side?
Okay, my brother, thank you. I'm going to take one more call. We can't take all your calls. No time. The news is up next. Hello. Good evening. The calls are on each other. This person. Hello. Wow. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes, from Yahweh.
Yes, let's hear you.
Want to thank you for everything, Mr. Zakanyo video, and for making this great topic, where I bring people telling us what our country has done, and we look out for more conversation like this. So I want everybody listening right now to know that we have to give the participation, not the lecture or not, but we are going for 12 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me go. Okay, you listen to the calls, but I think only one person that raised an issue you want to talk about control can wrap up because the news is up next.
You know, interestingly,
he
says, come back home. I'm always back.
When last did you go there?
I was just there for the opening of court in I think that was May. I go at least 4 times a year, and I'm going for the August term of court opening again. But when I go for court opening, I normally spend time. I don't just go to the court. I do workshops for young people. I do trainings on SGBV and a lot of things. So I'm there, and I know. And I'm happy that someone mentioned the hospital, the 150-bed hospital that is almost completed in Grand Jide County. People want to weaponize the road to Grand Jide in the southeast that was never fixed since 1847. They now want to make it President Weah's a problem. Yes, he's taking on the problem. And I can tell people in the first 2 or 3 years of the second term, that road will be constructed. President Weah is not a sectarian leader. He's not somebody who will say, I will take development here because I come from this region. That's why we paved Sandy Kule Road, because people were under obligation to pave that road more than 6 years ago. They didn't do so. And he paved that road. I'll conclude by saying this because I know we have a time. President Weah will win on his record. The closest competitors in this election, President Weah, have got no record. Not on education, not on infrastructure, not on health, not on anything. And therefore, we will make this
think first round victory is possible?
It's imminent. When I said people want to look at the politics in Liberia as regional, I have disaggregated that it is not regional.
Okay.
I have argued that there is no leader that have touched more people across the 15 counties through their policies on education and health the president we have.
Okay.
We just need to remind our
Kindly, we're
people.
going to find time. Maybe you're going to come for 2 hours.
By all
and then-
means, we'll
okay.
be happy to come back.
Thank you very much.
It's
And
a
then it was
pleasure.
a great time having you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And so Kanu Bagbala is the national spokesperson for CDC campaign across the country. And so that's all the time we want to say thank you to Voice of Hope in People, Sodican District, Maryland County, Voice of Truth in People, Sodican District, Maryland County. Bobby Addison, we want to say thank you for the kind courtesy and all you did to have us live in that part of the country. My name is Sekou Sharif. Tomorrow we're going to be back here, inshallah. The message is resonating, and we need to continue to do this.
Voice of Liberia. Your power station.
For news, information, and entertainment, listening to Voice of Liberia.
The hits just keep on coming.
On 104.1 FM, Voice of Liberia.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
This is Voice of Liberia. 104.1 FM.
Voice of Liberia. Your power station.
For news, information, and entertainment, listening to Voice of Liberia.
The hits just keep on coming.
On 104.1 FM, Voice of Liberia.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
This is Voice of Liberia. 104.1 FM.
Hello and welcome to the round on the Voice of Liberia from the nation's capital, Monrovia. I'm Famata Duncan with the news. In the headlines, President George Weah admonished political leaders to uphold the peace of the country, says Farmington Declaration, not a mere piece of paper. Police slapped Vivian Dunt with multiple charges in alleged plugging of one mailman. National Elections Commission reaffirms commitment to conducting free, fair, and inclusive elections during the 2023 presidential and legislative elections in the country. And state prosecutors filed a petition for changed venue in the murder case involving former Chief Justice Gloria Musu-Scott and others. For details of these and other stories pocket for presentation, stay tuned. Welcome back and thanks for being there. President George Weah continues to accentuate his determination to ensure that Liberia's democratic credentials are jealously upheld to the conduct of elections that meet all standards of fairness, transparency, and accountability on October 10. In a special statement Wednesday, August 2, 2023, at a section on promoting peaceful 2023 elections, with a team building the confidence of the presidential candidates in the workings of the NEC, recognized by the National Elections Commission and its partners, including ECOWAS and UN Liberia. President Weah recorded how far Liberia has come democratically and in terms of peace since the end of what he termed the dark days of conflict. He therefore challenged presidential aspirants in the pending October polls to put the interest of the country at the highest priority during and after these electioneering processes. According to him, the October 10 polls present Liberians with a unique opportunity to consolidate their democracy and showcase the country's maturity in handling its democratic processes. Angry protesters have pulled down the gate of National Assembly in Abuja, Nigeria, over worsened economic conditions caused by removal of subsidy on fuel, among others. Earlier, the protesters' leader, Jules Ajoro of the Nigerian Labour Congress and Festus Osafo of the Trade Union Congress asked security operatives sanctioned at the legislative building to open the gates to allow the angry workers to express their displeasure. Naomi Kambanda is Voice of Liberia correspondent in Nigeria.
Of Ali Ndume, who has asked the leaders of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congresses and protesters who were at the National Assembly this morning to call off the nationwide strike and give the Senate a week, just a week, to address the demands brought before it. It was also reported that the protesters occupied from the entrance of the Senate at the National Assembly as part of this protest against possible removal, among other very many demands. Now, among the demands are the reduction of the school fees in public schools, which has been escalated by the government without any consideration, and also the reduction of the fuel prices that have been hiked to 520 naira, and also the repairs of the refineries which the Labour Congress said it was arbitrary, increase, and a negative on the side of the government not to consider Nigerians. And the Labour unions also demanded immediate fixing of the refineries in order to stop importation of petroleum products into Nigeria. And when the chief whip was asked why they cannot have direct interface with the president, the chief whip already was pleading with them that they should please take it easy, that it's already being addressed in green chambers, all the demands and all the concerns that Nigerians are going through. And the president is also demanding that Nigerians should call off the strike, that he's going to do something as fast as possible. And if they do not meet up the demands of the labor unions by 1 week, then they can do whatever they want to do. The Senate chief whip.
The Liberia National Police Detachment in Nimba County have charged Vivian Dunt with aggravated assault, criminal attempt to commit murder, theft of property, and dissemination of obscene materials after she flogged one Naomi, who she accused of having a romantic relationship with her husband. She has been remanded at the Sanikole Central Prison pending court trial. A shocking video depicting the brutal assault on the woman named Naomi Vivian Dunt has gone viral on Facebook, sparking public outrage and demands for justice. The incident has gained widespread attention, highlighting the importance of addressing domestic violence and seeking justice for the victim. As the case unfolds, the public remains vigilant, urging the legal system to ensure that those responsible for such heinous acts are held accountable. In a distressing video, Vivian Dunt, reported to be the former partner of Mr. Stephen Janje, an employee of the Asylum Method, is seen violently attacking Naomi while filming the incident. Suspect Vivian accused Naomi of involving her marital home and posted explicit threats and abusive remarks on Facebook. The National Elections Commission has reaffirmed her commitment of conducting free, fair, and inclusive elections during the October 2023 presidential and legislative elections in the country. NEC Chairperson Deviator Brown Lassalant disclosed that all necessary measures have been put in place and the Commission has already begun the transportation of sensitive electoral material. Madam Lassalant made the disclosure at the one-day forum organized by the National Elections Commission for Presidential Aspirants, ECOWAS, and the United Nations in Monrovia Wednesday.
Concerning the preparations for the elections, the National Elections Commission, being cognizant of the huge infrastructural challenges, especially road connectivity, has embarked on early procurement of materials for early deployment. Additionally, the Commission has begun conversations with some institutions to assist with movement of sensitive and non-sensitive electoral materials to the counties. The NEC is using a multi-tier approach, including the use of CVE cells, civil society and general outreach activities, use of electronic print and social media, as well as the display of other visual arts to educate and mobilize Liberians to participate in the electoral process from an informed position. The National Elections Commission wishes to reiterate that while the Commission has transitioned to biometric voter registration, the voting in the 10th October 2023 general elections will be done manually, as it has been in the past. While we strive to adapt to global phenomenon of technological advancement, the process will be done incrementally, especially given our infrastructural endowment. The Commission again thanks and assures political leaders, as well as all Liberians, all stakeholders, and electoral actors, that the NEC remains committed to conducting the 10th October 2023 elections in a free, fair, and credible manner, as it has been the hallmark of this institution. We consider this forum as a wonderful opportunity for positive engagement, and we call on all of you leaders to play your role in ensuring that the electoral process progresses and concludes peacefully.
In remarks, the ambassador of ECOWAS, credited near Monrovia Josephine Nkrumah, cautioned leaders of political parties to be mindful of their utterances for the common good of the nation and its people. She expressed the hope that the political leaders will sincerely practice what they have signed to and will focus on issue based campaigns.
Political leaders, I'd like to say leadership is course, everything else is effect. So, what you do and what you say is what your partisans will follow. And I'm confident that the billboards that you've signed here, the gestures of peace and of one Liberia, will trickle down to the ordinary citizen, particularly the youth, who we know have a big role to play in our elections. They will be reminded that you sat here or stood here and spoke for peace for Liberia. And we are confident that that will also guide their conduct during the election. Every citizen or every Liberian I have spoken to has expressed his or her desire for peaceful elections. And that is also manifested in what our political leaders have done here today. But leadership, I must urge that our words should not be only words. We should walk the talk. And so we should also understand that we have a lot to give to the people for them to realize their aspirations of peaceful Liberia. We must remind ourselves that a few months ago, we signed the Farmington Declaration, and this further deepens that commitment to the Farmington Declaration. It spoke for peaceful conduct of political parties as we enter the campaigns. The key messaging we see here, no violence against women. I stand up for peaceful elections. Yes to the Farmington River Declaration 2023. NEC, my right, your right. Say no to campaign violence. All of these find expression in that Farmington River Declaration, and we are attesting to this again today.
The leader of the opposition in Parliament, Mahmoud Ho, has written a letter to the Speaker of the National Assembly, Lohang, challenging his decision to record Parliament from its winter recess for a special meeting set for 7 August 2023. Ho argued that the circular issued by the Speaker did not comply with the rules of the House. He urged the Speaker to revisit the circular and ratify the flaws therein. Lilomo Matlotlo corresponds for Voice of Liberia from Lesotho.
Mukoto argues that the circular issued by the Speaker did not comply with the rules of the House. He says the circular is incorrect because it does not meet terms of the Standing Order number 14, which stipulates that a 14 days notice must be issued when recalling the Parliament. Mukoto vehemently admonishes the Speaker that there are no rules of the House bestowing him the power to call parliamentarians to a meeting without a notice of more than 14 days. Therefore, he urges the Speaker to revisit circular and rectify faults therein. As a result, the Speaker issued a new circular withdrawing the initial circular. The clerk to the National Assembly, Advocate Fine Mahema, says the purpose to recall the Parliament was to discuss a way forward on the omnibus bill that details the constitutional and security reforms. The Southern African Development Committee, SADC-EMBO, was in the meeting with the government last week to discuss the reform agenda that initiated back in 2016. It is in that meeting where SADC believed to have expressed its displeasure to the government for working on reforms with a snail pace. The government of Lesotho is expected to present a tangible progress that has been made to finalize the reforms at 43rd Ordinary SADC Summit of the heads of the state and government to be held in Luanda Angola on the 17th August 2023. However, the government is likely to fail to present the progress on the reforms because nothing much has been achieved since Parliament went for winter recess. Hence, the Speaker was attempting to recall Parliament. Voice of Liberia, I am Delimo Matoto, reporting from the Kingdom of Lesotho, Maseru.
If you just join us, be reminded that you are listening to News Round on the Voice of Liberia from the nation's capital, Monrovia. And these are stories we are following on this news presentation. President George Weah admonishes political leaders to uphold the peace of the country, says Farmington Declaration, not a mere piece of paper. Police slaps Vivian Dant with multiple charges in the alleged flogging of one filming. National Elections Commission reaffirms commitment to conducting free, fair, and inclusive elections during the 2023 presidential and legislative elections. And state prosecutors filed a petition for change the venue in the murder case involving former Chief Justice Gloria Musu's court and others. Welcome back and thanks for being there. The trial of the former Chief Justice Gloria Musu's court is expected to be transferred outside of Monrovia following the government's lawyers' request for exchange of venue. Defendants Councillor Gloria Musu's court, Gertrude Newton, Rebecca Whistler, and Alice Johnson were charged with crimes of murder, criminal conspiracy, and making false statements to law enforcement officers in connection to the gruesome killing of the late Charles Musu. The application for a change of venue is in line with Article 5, subsection 5.7b of the Criminal Procedure Law and the statutory laws of Liberia. The government, in its motion, alleged that the defendants were arrested, investigated, and charged by the Crown Services Department of the Liberian National Police for the commission of the criminal offenses. According to the government's sense, the indictment of the defendants, the merit of the case has been discussed on various media platforms as well as the general public. As such, could undermine the case. The national campaign spokesperson for the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change, Councillor Kanu Babala, has declared that no Liberian politician can match the political and developmental credentials of President George Weah. Speaking on Voice of Liberia Issues of Today program, Kanu Babala cited key achievements under President George Weah, such as the establishment of Liberia's first dialysis center at the JFK Hospital, the digitization of the University of Liberia, the opening of Liberia's first oxygen plant, as well as construction of over 500 kilometers of roads in 5 years as groundbreaking and homaged. He said many ordinary Liberians whose lives have gotten better as a result of President Weah's policies will repay him emphatically by a massive first round victory during the October 10 elections. It can be recorded that the CDC National Campaign spokesperson recently resigned from his position as vice chairperson of the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, aligned with the Code of Conduct, which forbids public officials from engaging in acts that pertains to conflict of interests.
The consolidation of what has happened over the last 5 years. For example, we've made education a pinnacle of our public policy in the first term. That's why we made public education free at the universities across the nation. And even though you say we shouldn't have the conversation about first round, but when you declare public education to be free at the University of Liberia, at Tubman University, at the Nimba Community College, amongst other, full swing. It is still in This is a presidential policy decision. No one can really off otherwise until the president decides that we're taking it back. These are the counties that are going to vote. These are the people that are going to vote. Not as yet. And that is why we're going to give the president a resounding first round victory so that in his second term, we are going to legislate these policies. So that people across this country know that electing President Weah means that you get a law that ensures that education at tertiary institutions in our country is guaranteed to be free, tuition free, by law. They know that. So back to the vision. We want to consolidate on what we've done for education. We want to consolidate on what we've done for the healthcare center in mere 3 years. And you probably think, say like, okay, why are you saying 3 years? I'm saying 3 years because when you subtract the years that COVID stole from this president, 2 years of which the global economy was pretty much in a meltdown. 2 years where a lot of the things in this country had ground to a halt because of the economic meltdown that happened over the country. In spite of that, in healthcare, President, we have built 3 major referral hospitals in this country, even if not coming to JFK, but almost close to JFK. I was just informed the other day by somebody in the healthcare sector that they had just performed a cesarean section at the 14th Military Hospital. Even if it were done by foreigners, which I can ascertain, it tells you that the president has the ability to attract skilled doctors, healthcare professionals to our country. That is a plus for our country. Some of the folks who were around when we were not, very active or even that board will tell you that JFK used to be a hub for foreign doctors. Why are they not here, not like before? So if we have them at 14 military, if we have them at Bapolu at the Emirates Hospital, far off in the Western region, if we have them in Riverside, like where they are, then it tells you that we are decentralizing health. That is what we've done for health. Those are the visions to consolidate in the second term. What have we done for infrastructure? Same thing. We want to consolidate.
The Veteran Bureau of Liberia has strongly reacted to statements released by the executive director of the Center for Accountability and Transparency in Liberia against the appointment of chairman of the Governance Commission on the campaign team of the ruling Coalition for Democratic Change. On Tuesday, the executive director of Center, Alexander Anderson Miami strongly criticized the appointment of Antonin Harrison Yellow on the campaign team of the CDC on ground that it violates the code of conduct and the law creating the Governance Commission. Addressing the press conference on Bushwa Outland, the public relations officer of the Veteran Bureau, David Wisse, rejected the criticism of Central Bus, describing him as a fronter for the opposition political party.
The Veterans Bureau of Liberia, one of Liberia's biggest public relations institutions. We remain firm. We remain steadfast. We remain unwavering in standing with the decision of the president that Yellow remains on the campaign team of the Martyr Coalition for Democratic Change. On yesterday, the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia Center released a press statement through the executive director, Mr. Anderson Miami, in which it condemned the appointment of Ate Garrison Yelu Jr. So the campaign team of the Coalition for Democratic Change, and also condemned the general workings of the Governance Commission under his leadership. The Veteran Bureau is cognizant of the pivotal role of civil society organizations such as Center in the governance of our state. COS play fundamental roles in ensuring that society is governed and led in a way that benefits all of its people. This is what the CDC-led government has never attempted to show.
The chairman of the Economic Community of West African States Parliamentary Committee on Political Affairs, Peace, Security, and African Peer Review Mechanism, Senator Edwin Melvin Snow, has in the strongest terms condemned the recent coup in Niger. While condemning the coup, Senator Snow called on leaders of the sub-region to collectively work together to end the practice in the region. He believes that the recent wave of coup in the region could undermine the peace and stability of the region if state parties refused to stand up against those behind the coup. Meanwhile, Snow is calling on countries to discourage term and the abrupt change of tenures by heads of states. And the head of the October 10 ahead of the October 10, 2023 presidential and legislative elections, Liberians have underscored the need for the country's peace to be maintained. Speaking on the program Citizen Voices at the Center for Exchange of Intellectual Opinions in Central Monrovia, the Liberian said maintaining the peace rests squarely on the shoulders of the government, the National Elections Commission, as well as political parties and Liberians at large. According to them, the peace of the country will remain threatened if the National Elections Commission refuses to enforce the election laws governing political parties. They believed that as the Commission prepares to officially announce the start of campaign activities on Saturday, there is a need for Liberians to trust the process and ensure the country is peaceful.
This topic needs to be void of political feelings, and the topic centers around peace. And mind you, going to a very crucial elections, the responsibility lies upon us, the citizens. That is the essential responsibility. Who bears the essential responsibility is the citizen. We as citizens bears the essential responsibility to protect the peace in this country. I think the three parties, that is the National Election Commission, the government of Liberia, the political party, inclusive of the citizens of this country, have the moral responsibility to protect the peace of our country. But the greater responsibility lies within the power of the government because the government was constitutionally elected by the people to steer the affairs of the country and to ensure that the rule of law is being upheld at all levels. So at this time, we want to call on the political parties as we get towards elections. They should refrain from using, violent words, words that would incite, that support us, that would degenerate our country into the dark days. As you may be aware, Liberia has a history of going through a 14 to 15 years civil crisis. So to trust the net should be there to, in the same way, to build confidence for themselves. So if you not blow now, okay, let's say the mess cocaine and other blow, and you not blow, and they go on the field, they protesting, they fail to automatically will join in. So yeah, the fair will join in. So and the fair and the political are the people who will be supporting the political party. That's why you saw. You saw what happened in the time. The moment the other poking, yeah, the moment the other poking and the other poster, so everybody value those of the thank you.
On that note, that's how we come to an end of news round on the voice of Liberia. But before we leave you here, as stories we followed on this news presentation. President George Weah admonishes political leaders to uphold the peace of the country, says Farmington Declaration, not a mere piece of paper. Police slaps Vivian Dant with multiple charges in the alleged flogging of one Niome. National Elections Commission reaffirms commitment to conducting free, fair and inclusive elections during the 2023 presidential and legislative elections in the country. And state prosecutors file a petition for changed venue in the murder case involving former Chief Justice Gloria Musu Scott and others. For more news, log on to www.voiceofliberiaonline.com or follow us on Facebook with Keyvoice Voice of Liberia. I'm Famata Duncan. Good day.
One oh four point one. Voice of Liberia.
Your house station.
1,000 times I sometimes see you pass outside my door. Hello.
My name is Sekou Perry. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Liberia. I'd like to say thank you to each and every one of you who've been praying so that we can resolve our case. I want to use this time to inform you that Voice of Liberia has an assigned frequency of 104.1. Encourage someone to listen as we serve the public.
And you know just what to do. And I want to tell you so much. I love you.
Are you tired with slow internet? You want super fast and affordable internet? Telecel Liberia is here to provide all your internet service needs. The internet is moving at a fast pace, and only super fast internet speed can help you keep up. At Telecel, our internet packages are divided into distinct categories: mega, optimal, premium, elite, and big business that suits kids, universities, schools, hotels, beaches, homes, offices, urban areas, and much more. Anything is possible with Telecel Liberia. Get your own streaming box for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Showmax, and more. At Telecel, our amazing 24-hour customer service is there to help you with all your needs. Telecel Liberia, super fast speed, 24 hours technical support team, the best broadband and fiber optic internet service in Liberia. For more information, please call 0770-399-399 or 0881-399-399. Or stop by our office on 3rd Street Secret, opposite the Carter Center and GLC building. Visit our website, telecel.liberia.com. Email us at info@telecel.liberia.com. Telecel Liberia, the best internet service provider, is here for you. Telecel Liberia, connecting the unconnected.
I want to flex my love. I want to flex.
Hello, Mahawa. Have you heard of the latest news in town?
No, Yakbawolo. No, Yakbawolo. Lay it on my chest.
Well, the good news is that